Damn, Michael was fucking dead inside.
Mike's like, how long can I flex my shoulders?
I was flipped away from the screen looking at Channel Uzi's OnlyFans, and I thought I was gonna come back and see Michael like this, like he's been doing the last like 6-7 shows. Instead, he's like, big bulk boy. It's like, okay, man, what's the fuck is going on?
Yuppie! You know.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the IO Panel Podcast, episode 230. My name's Evan, I'll be your host this week. Joining me as always, two best friends, James and Mike. How you guys doing today?
Pretty good, man, pretty good.
I'm
How are
well.
you?
Thank you.
I heard you did some grocery shopping
I did.
this morning?
Next question.
What'd you get?
Moving right along.
Yeah.
I won't be going on my
it's
grocery
like-
shopping list. Thank you, Michael. Thank you.
I hardly
That's
think
off the
that's any of
table.
your business. Yeah.
Right.
It's not
very
open
private.
for discussion. So I went in to get ingredients for a recipe I've sent to James before called Peel a Pound Soup, which is a concoction of onion, carrot, celery, cabbage, tomato puree, and chicken broth. You know, just like a vegetable soup. Roughly $15 worth of ingredients. Of course, the impulsive shopper and browser that I am, I walked out with some pork necks, some neck bones, a couple steaks, some apples, all the vegetables I did mention, some pre-cooked pasta, which is now in the soup, some jumbo shrimp, which is now in the soup, some kielbasa, which is now in the soup.
Wait,
I got
Are you making it in the thing?
no, just a big pot on the stove.
so is that for flavoring? You throw that meat away, or?
No, I'm gonna eat it. I mean, I wanted to make vegetable soup with meat.
You know what's funny? My mom, there you go. My mom has made soup before or some kind of like stock, and she's like, throw this meat away.
Oh, well, yeah.
And I'm like, it's like, you know, chicken. She's like, all the
Chicken
flavor's gone.
Is it a chicken
like,
carcass? It's like
It might have been. Yeah,
it's spent. Discard it.
Yeah, and she's like, nah, all this meat. I mean, she's like, you can eat it if you want. She's like, but it's like, there's
People
no
say
flavor.
that.
You
I
might
don't
as
know
well
if
just
that's
toss
true
it.
or not, but people do say that.
I've had pieces of it.
Yeah,
It's
when
very
you,
like
when you
meh.
make ramen, I've been watching a lot of ramen videos, and we talked about this, Evan. But when you make I think it's the tare. I don't know. It's some component of the ramen. It's the ramen broth or whatever. You put all this meat in the broth to make it, and basically you take all that meat after letting it like slow cook for like 8 hours or whatever, and you just throw all that shit away. You know what I mean? That's it. I mean, fucking pork bones and all. It's just, I'm like, I just want to fucking bathe in that. You know?
It's like, you know, I mean, most of the meat you use to make that kind of broth is like remnants. You know, maybe you use some pork belly or some brisket that you probably save and slice up, but you know, anything that's directly attached to a bone, you're probably tossing into the garbage. Yeah. I got 2 trays of sushi and a piece of cake and energy drinks and Pepsi Zero Sugar mango flavor. So I went in with the goal to buy vegetables and spend about $15. And I spent $98 and change.
So due to my disorder, I walked out.
Yes. Yes, due to my mental incapacity to restrain myself. Yeah.
Every time I go to the grocery store, I'm like, I'm just going to pick up a couple things. It's usually at least $65. It's usually closer to $100.
So I actually found, I just remembered, I found 2.
It's not a lot of stuff. I'm like two bags
packages
of stuff, $100. You know?
Of pre-sliced chicken breast that's like made to grill up, like if you're making a chicken Philly or something like that, but it's buffalo flavored. That was on sale, so I got 2 packages of that. Had to. A very nice New York strip steak. The neck bones. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but yeah, I mean that's a pretty average shopping trip for me.
So let me cut.
Where'd you
Kroger.
go?
Let me cut in real quick.
Kroger.
So last week,
Yeah.
after last week's show,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's me and Evan. Oh, it wasn't last week's show. I don't know what. It was sometime last week. Evan was helping me with the server. You know, and Michael.
It was after last week's show, yeah.
Michael was like, "Oh, I gotta go." So it was me and Evan on the thing, and I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna go to the grocery store and get a steak tonight." So I'm just gonna get a steak. I'm gonna get a nice steak and come home. So I get to the grocery store. The grocery store I would normally go to, if I had been able to go there, I'd probably been really good. It was Weiss. Horrible steaks, horrible everything. You dip in, you dip out, you get the fucking minimum low quality meat. Give it a quick grill, a little salt, a little pepper. You're living good. Okay, it's fine. But they were closed.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up at Wegmans. Big mistake.
That's good and bad.
It's a good mistake, a happy error, bad on the wallet, bad on the fucking waistline. So I get to Wegmans. Yeah. Of course, Wegmans is like, we only have the most elite, high-quality meats, right? So I get there, their butcher shop is closed, so I'm forced to buy their pre-sealed crazy meat, you know, grass-fed, whatever, yada, yada, yada. It's like $37 or whatever like that. And I said, all right, fuck it. So I picked that up. And when you get their meat, as you're walking out, you got to walk through the pre-prepared food section. So then
That's how they get you. It's like IKEA.
Oh, dude, it's like this is a predatory practice. It's not even my fault.
Yeah.
So I'm walking through, and they got the pre-cooked shrimp, garlic butter pre-cooked, veined, pre-cooked garlic butter shrimp. I said, you know what? I'm not gonna
not get this.
Of a nice surf and turf. So I picked that up, and I was walking.
He's like, then you saw the Lost for Tales.
I saw the sushi, and I was like, look.
Well, I'm an international gentleman.
Like,
who am I to deny this?
I love flavor.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna not indulge. So I picked up the $8 sushi tray, you know, and I was headed out, and luckily I was going by the other stuff that was there was all closed, so I couldn't get, like, if the Chinese buffet area had been open or the pre-cooked the cooked hot food had been open, it would have been a problem. Well, you know what? I'll just pick up a tray of meatloaf and macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how many slices of meatloaf would have made?
I mean, at least you didn't
get
scammed with a $19 salad.
Yeah, no, that's a mistake. I've done that before, though. Yeah.
I've done that at Whole Foods.
Mm-hmm. Did you enjoy your purchases?
I mean, you know what? I sat there while the steak was cooking, and I ate all the shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
And then I popped all the sushi in my mouth while I was waiting on the steak. So I was pretty full by the time the steak came out. So I ate about 30% of the steak, and then cut the rest up and put it in Tupperware and stuck in the refrigerator, and then made a steak and egg omelet in the morning. So
not bad.
It was okay. The steak was okay. It was
nice. That worked out.
It was not a. I've noticed it's kind of hard to get really great marble. If you're buying something that's not like a T-bone, it's a mixed bag what you're gonna get. Even if it's a quality grass-fed, yada yada yada, it's a mixed bag. So big chunks of fat. Not a big fan of that, obviously. It was okay. It was fine. It was good enough. It was serviceable, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What did you put on the steak?
Salt and pepper. Oh, no. That's right. This steak came pre-seasoned.
No, it's like caked in cumin.
No. Well, I've done that before. But no, this steak came pre-seasoned, and they had 3 cloves of garlic stuffed in the fucking, like, they cut it open and stuffed garlic in there, and then it was a garlic, salt, and pepper blend or something, some kind of garlic blend on there. So that's why I got it, because I was like, oh, I don't have to think about this, and it's probably going to taste good, you know, but...
I'm always skeptical. Like, can you actually taste that in there?
No.
Can you actually infuse flavor into meat? I don't think so.
Maybe if you soak it in a liquid or like a rub or something. Yeah.
Well, you got to marinate it or something.
Like if you brine chicken, I know, you know, some of the salt and sugar seeps into the flesh, you know, overnight and everything, but other than that, you know, if you're not brining anything, it's all surface flavor.
Yeah. I think
in my experience,
the only thing that I think really penetrates is when you do. So I did the butter, you know, the butter bath. So just like a tablespoon, scoop, tablespoon, scoop, tablespoon. I constantly was ladling butter on each side. Got a nice crust on it.
Supposedly, I've heard that that's the secret to a good steak.
I mean, every time I've done it's been great. Now, the only times I've done it that I really, really enjoyed it was when I sous vide the steaks. This one I didn't sous vide. This one I put inside the steak grill pan that I have. And I used Michael's mom's secret pane of glass she gave me. I put that on top.
P-A-N-E or P-A-I-N?
Yeah, that you use that in concert with that grill pan, you get some great grill marks and great crust on the steak. That thing's honestly just cheat mode right there. It's beautiful. It's really nice.
So you like the grill marks?
It's not that I like the grill marks. It's just that I think it's embedded in your brain. You know, you're like,
I mean, you eat with your eyes.
Good. Yeah, exactly. You eat with your eyes. What's the old saying? If you have a steak on what do you want? A steak on a garbage can lid, or a piece of meatloaf on a nice plate? You know.
That's the old saying. I haven't heard that one. Maybe you did, but I haven't heard that.
Now on the spot.
He's like, "Good, you want this on the garbage can?" Like, yeah, I'm good. I guess you mean the presentation is what matters, right?
They don't obviously add anything to the flavor or anything. I'm sure a lot of that, like Michael Evans said, that surface level spice, a lot of it just gets burnt up. You know.
I mean, once you start chewing and everything, it all mixes together.
No sous vide this time,
no,
huh? You wanted to go with the,
you know.
How long would it take to sous vide?
A couple hours?
Yeah, a couple hours to do it right. Yeah.
At least 90 minutes.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
You hear the cat?
The cat's like, they speak my language.
Yeah. That's through a closed door. Yeah. Well, very good, James and Evan. Sounds like you're going to have a nice feast later. James, what are you going to eat? You had your disappointing omelet today from IHOP.
Yeah, I mean, today, you know, I don't know.
Do you want to talk about that? I put food scams in the Yum update, but we can get into that right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So tell the viewers, tell the listeners, James, about your adventures to IHOP this morning.
This morning I got up around 7 this morning, and I couldn't sleep. Got up at 7, and I wasn't really hungry, but I was like, you know what? I'm feeling IHOP, I think. So at 7, I said, okay, I'll sleep for a little bit longer. I'll get up around 10. I'll work on editing another podcast and posting it before the show. And then I'll try to get some food while I'm doing that. So 10 o'clock I came out here. I go on IHOP's webpage, and they're like, we're having too much, you know, we're too busy to deliver. I tried 4 more times. I couldn't get them to deliver food. I was like, fuck. There's a reminder for James. So anyway, I tried to delete that reminder today, and Google was like, okay, I did it.
So you actually found it?
Well, no, I just said delete all reminders. And it was like, okay, I deleted it. It deleted something. I don't know what the fuck it deleted. Who knows? Yeah.
There go the family photos. Yeah.
It's like, oh, I guess you forgot about you get that blood transfusion. Yeah. So anyway, so I said, okay, fuck it. I'll go before, and I checked, and Michael was like, okay, hey, I'm running late today. I got errands to run or whatever. Let's start at 12:30. Start show prep between 12:30. I was like, okay, I got time. It was like 10:30. I was like, I got time. I'll put the order in now. I'll go pick it up by 11:20, something like that. No big deal. I put the order in. They say, come at 11:50, and I was like, that's still enough time. I could eat during show prep. No big deal. The store is like a block away from my house. It's super close. So I went on their site, and they have these thick, beautiful maple steakhouse maple bacon strips. They're about an inch thick, this wide, big, crispy, beautiful. Like, you can tell they, like, put them in a deep fryer or something. They fried them up, and it's got a nice crust on it. It's covered in maple syrup. It's candied. Looks great. I was like, oh, my God. I found my new thing for the year. And it's a limited time thing, so I was like, this is going to ruin me for the next 3 months. Well, the whole time this is up, I'm going to be buying this once a week. I was like, I know it. I can't wait, you know? So I put in the order. I got that, and I got the the country steak omelet. Okay? It's an omelet filled with steak, tomato, hash browns, all kind of salsa, all kinds of stuff, right? So, okay, it's gonna be great. Then cheese on top, and I get two slices of sourdough toast, butter. Okay, this is all I need. I'm good. So I go to the store to pick it up. That fucking place is jumping. There's a million people outside. A million people there. I get there. A guy who got there after me gets his food before I do, and I'm outside in the parking lot in their like driver in the pull-up thing. You know, you pull up and get whatever. So I'm sitting there waiting. I call them. They're like, okay, we'll be out. Fucking 45 minutes go by. They finally come wandering out. I had a text. I was like, I'm late. You know, it was like 12:25. I was like, I'm not going to be there on time. I'm going to be late. You know, I'm still at the store waiting on food. So I get the food, and they bring it out to me. I'm like, okay, I'm going to eat this bacon now, because now I'm really hungry, you know? So I know it's 2 strips of this thick-ass bacon in there. I was like, I'm going to eat this right now. It's going to be great. So I get out. I'm backing out of the parking space. I pop it open with my hand, you know, because when you're fat, you have techniques. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, yeah. You got one hand on the wheel, one hand's popping open packages, you know, going through rifling through bags, looking for the right box, give it a shake. As I hear the syrup in there. I'm like, oh, this is it. You know? So I get it open. I look inside. In there is the 2 saddest pieces of bacon I've ever seen in my life. One of them was shaped like it's supposed to be shaped, but it was like pink. Like, and I looked at it and said, that's not a piece of bacon. That's just a ham steak cut to look like a piece of bacon. And that's what it was. It was a big-ass ham steak. A thick ham steak cut to look like bacon. Okay, it wasn't crispy. It wasn't even hit on the grill, nothing. The other one was shaped like Idaho. Skinny-ass Idaho. It was like this, and then it's like, boop, like a key. Okay? And narrow as fuck. And it was burnt on one side, and then pink and nothing on the other side. So what I realize is they just take ham steak, and if you're not familiar with ham steak, it's like a big ass ham, but they cut it instead of the thin slices like the what are they called, Evan? The fucking ham that's pre-sliced.
Canadian bacon?
No. You buy the big ass ham and it comes pre-sliced. Spiral cut.
Oh, like
ham.
the spiral.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Imagine a spiral cut ham, but not spiral cut. The cuts are like this, and it comes in a big flat sheet. Okay? And I mean, part of me is like, Michael's mom buys a type of ham, and she does some kind of mustard ham thing with it. Part of me is like, this is like that. This is like some ham composite. It's a ham-based composite. You know, where they take a bunch of scraps and press it together in a machine, and then wrap it up in some kind of fucking edible wrap, and then here you go. You know? And I'm thinking, if they're selling it, that's what this is. This isn't even a ham steak, you know?
Yeah. It's mechanically processed pork.
There you go, exactly. Horrible. And I wasn't on this show, but if you go back to, I think maybe it's 227 or 228. It's the show when I'm not here. Evan is talking to Michael about turkey-based hams. To Michael's great dismay. And I thought, all I could think about was that in my mind. I was like, this is turkey-based ham. No. This isn't even, it's not even bacon ham.
Oh, you mean the sandwiches from Subway and shit? Oh, my God. Yeah, what a travesty.
Subway's got a lot of problems, man. You just need to do yourself a favor and never go to Subway. But, yeah, so,
yeah.
I got that. Of course, it's a ham steak. It tastes like a ham steak. Not bacon at all. And then I get home, and I open up the fucking omelet, and as I'm biting into the omelet, Evan's like, what omelet did you get? I was like, the steak, he's like, the country steak omelet? I was like, yeah, that's it. And he's like, oh, I don't like that one because they just sprinkle steak on top and there's nothing inside. And then I looked down, and I was like, I don't like it for that reason either. And at that point, I had bitten into it and had one bite, and I'm looking at the inside, and I remember the other reason I don't like this one. And I always end up ordering this one because it looks more steaky than the Colorado one. But it's not. You know, Colorado doesn't have the name steak in it. This one's called the steak omelet, the big country steak omelet or whatever. Something that's going to be loaded with steak. Oh boy, this is a fucking cow's. There's a cow cock inside this thing, and they just coat it with egg. It's going to be great. You know? Of course, you know what's inside? No tomato, no cheese, nothing. Just 7 pounds of fucking what's it called? Potato hash.
Hash browns.
Hash browns. Just 7 pounds of hash browns rolled in an egg. What a fucking scam! And then they got a quarter of a diced tomato on top, and they give you some salsa in a jar and throw it all in there. And then they take some piece of steak that they took off somebody's plate who didn't eat their steak, cut it up, hit it on the fryer again, and sprinkled that on top like it was fucking pepper. And that's it. Scammed. Got him! Ah! That's it.
Did you get anything to drink from IHOP?
I did. That would have probably made the IHOP trip worthwhile. They have some like flavored coffee and flavored whatever, and also their orange juice. I mean, I don't know, something nostalgic about IHOP orange juice for me. I don't know what it is, but it's fucking great.
Orange juice is great. That's why we can never drink it again.
Well, it gives you heartburn. It's horrible.
It doesn't give me heartburn.
Doesn't give me heartburn either.
Everything gives you heartburn, Michael.
Nothing gives me heartburn except for high C orange drink from
How do you get high
McDonald's?
C orange drink gives you heartburn, but regular orange juice, which is acidic as fuck, gives you heartburn?
I don't know. And what's like a Mike's Hard Lemonade or something? Those give me heartburn now.
Well, this orange juice period gives me heartburn. When I was a kid, I used to eat the Donald Duck shit like the ice. You know, they.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Mike, that's what you did.
Apparently, this is my soulmate over here. This is my
James
brother.
Ate orange juice concentrate.
Yeah.
Mike ate white grape peach Welch's concentrate. Like, as a snack.
This is great, yo. Straight sugar, yo.
I'm sure that I have had a grape juice concentrate in my day.
We're going to do something at the beach. I'll bring one down to the beach so Evan can have
I remember seeing that.
I will do that.
For once.
Get me a grape juice one, and I'm in.
Yeah,
we'll
I've
eat
never
them
had
in the hot tub.
We'll try it out.
I was baffled by that Donald Duck orange
I
juice. I didn't understand it.
Donald Duck and orange juice. I was very confused by it.
Appealing to kids.
I guess.
So to get the parents' money. That's it.
I mean, I don't think we ever bought it. I think we just maybe we bought it once just for
I mean,
fun,
I don't think your mom
something,
falls for those traps.
No, I mean, I'm the one eating over here Raisin Bran and shit when I was like 7.
We bought it, but we didn't buy it because of Donald Duck. We bought it because it was on sale. It was like either that or Minute Maid. Like, that Donald Duck orange juice was like the 50 cents a jar orange juice compared to Minute Maid, like $3 and something. You know?
I was always getting I think we were always getting the Minute Maid ones. Yeah. That sounds right.
Quality.
Yep.
James was a poor black child living in a luxurious single family home
in the richest county in America. Living at the poverty line.
Yeah.
In my own with my own bathroom at the poverty line, not sharing a bathroom with anyone. Yeah.
This reminds me. Just the other day, I rewatched the Chappelle sketch or his bit about juice versus drink.
Oh yeah, sure.
Classic.
That's true though.
Mm-hmm.
We very rarely had drink in my house. That's how you know. That's the line, right there.
Yep.
Drink.
Oh, I used to get drink. Yeah, like Tampico, whatever.
Delicious. I bought Tampico as a teenager, but not as a kid. Like, my mom never had that shit in our house. She was never like, "I'll bring this," never. It was never no Sunny D, no Tampico, no grape juice, no punch. Never made Kool-Aid. None of that shit. None of that.
You ever get those drinks in the little plastic barrels with the foil top?
No. I know what you're talking about.
I did, but I only liked them because they looked like grenades.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't think I ever got those.
My cousins had those all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like, I don't know, for some reason whenever I see those, I just associate that with little black kids in the hood.
Yeah, and for something that is pure sugar water, their flavoring was quite weak. It was very disappointing, but they look like grenades.
Us, it was juice boxes.
Well, yeah.
You know, it was high C or whatever
Which
the
is
fuck,
actually
you know, I don't know.
I think it's the same thing. It's basically the same thing. You know?
Probably, yeah.
The juice...
Ecto.
Well,
Ecto Cooler.
I always wanted Ecto Cooler. I never got it. We never had that stuff.
I'm
When
sure-
I was really young, we had Capri Suns.
You never...
When I
Yeah.
was like in 3rd grade, I had Capri Suns.
You ever get frustrated?
No, that's one of the things we never bought.
I used to get frustrated with them, so I just stab it in the bottom.
Oh God. Yeah, no. I used to.
Sometimes I couldn't make it through the
No.
little foil circle, so just turn it over and
I mean, I'd
go at it.
I'd break it. I get it like halfway, like just enough, and and then I'd do one more, and the straw would crack. You know, I'm like, okay, cool. And it took me a long time to realize, oh, that's why, because you get that straw in there, and you suck on it, you're like, oh, you're getting good suction. And it's like, whoosh, 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 coming out the fucking crack. You're like, oh, it took me a long time to realize I got to go all the way in if it's cracked. But then once you get past the crack again, you're fucked again. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So what it always ended up, you ended up at lunch table with the thing out, hold it like this. like a Juicero, like a Juicero.
James, you had Juicero. James, you had problems as a kid, man. What the fuck?
All of his
I didn't
straws
have
were
to-
dry rotted.
Yeah, and apparently you had problems too. You're like, fuck this, and you just turned the whole thing over and fucking stab it on the bottom. What the hell, man?
Yeah.
Jesus, I never
If you told
went
me
through
as a
any of
kid to
that.
Go through the bottom. I'm like, how?
With
I'm like, this is impenetrable. I'm pretty sure I only had forks as a kid too. I never had any forks. Like,
James, did you bring a lunch every day to school? You had to, right?
when I was in like first, second, third, I brought lunch to school, and then up until say 6th grade, I brought lunch to school. But at 6th grade, this is a funny thing. I think you went to Catholic school, didn't you, Evan, Michael? Evan, did you?
No.
Nope.
So I don't know if public school did this, but I went to private school up until 6th grade, and they had a cafeteria, but they did not serve lunch at all. You had to bring your own lunch, so I always brought my own lunch. But they did we did pay for milk. So we paid the school like $30 a month or $30 every couple of weeks or something like that for milk, and then they would say, "What milk do you want?" And it'd be like skim milk, whole milk, or chocolate milk. And of course, they'd bring the tray, and it'd be like 15 chocolate milks. There's 2 idiot kids who are like, "I only drink skim milk," you know. And they has 2 skim milks, and then 1 whole milk, and we're all drinking milk all day, drinking chocolate milk like fucking idiots.
Got you hooked on the teat at a young
yeah,
age.
big time. So I drank, dude.
Dude, a big
Dude,
milk
from
had its claws
yeah.
in everywhere.
To 6th grade, I drank chocolate milk every fucking day for years. Like every day that wasn't summertime, I was drinking chocolate milk every day.
I remember drinking chocolate milk quite a bit in elementary school. I don't remember if I did it every time, or if I was like, "Nah, this is crazy." Like, you know, like I don't remember if I had to self.
Mike's like, "Where's
Probably
the
not,
nutritional value in this beverage?"
I always
At the age of 9,
I always find it weird that my mom let me drink chocolate milk, but I guess she was like, okay, well, you know, you're eating bran flakes for breakfast, so you might as well have some chocolate milk, you know.
I don't think nutrition was questioned 30 years ago.
No, you're right.
They're like, milk is just good for you. Because
Evan, did you bring lunch in elementary school, or did you purchase it?
most of the time, I brought lunch because my mom made it. Occasionally, I would get school lunch. When I moved in with my dad after elementary school, so middle school and high school, it flipped. So I ended up buying my lunch most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's I was always a kid who bought
Yeah.
lunch, except for the occasional time when I brought it. Even in elementary school. In elementary school, too, at least in one of our schools, because we changed schools once.
Witness protection.
One of our schools, yeah. We didn't have, there was a cafeteria, but it was like James. Like, for some reason, like, we never ate there. Like we always ate in our
you had home
classroom.
Class, whatever you ate there. Yeah, same thing for St. John's.
But me and like 3 other idiot kids like always bought our lunch.
Yeah.
So in the morning we'd go see the teacher,
Uh-huh.
like our own teacher, and they'd be like, like, oh, who needs to buy lunch? And she'd come in the morning and like mark us down or something, and like we'd each give her like $1 or whatever the fuck it costs, like $1.10, I think. It's just crazy to think about now. I'm like, okay,
she'd go to
like
Panera
that's
Bread
nuts, but yeah.
and bring it.
No, and we'd literally like when it was lunchtime, it was like, oh, okay, kids who need to buy the lunch line up, and they'd take us to the cafeteria. We'd pick up our lunch and our tray and everything, and come back to the classroom.
Wait, so
and eat it.
So they made your lunch. You ordered the lunch in the morning, and then so someone worked in the cafeteria who was making lunch.
Absolutely.
Yep, same. I had to buy my lunch. That was probably like $1.10, and they gave me like a raffle ticket or something to go back to the cafeteria to exchange for the meal.
I don't even remember that part. Maybe they did that, and I just.
I
don't
remember being amazed when I went in 7th grade. It was my first time like aware of school. Not aware of school, but the first time that wasn't like.
You're like, where am I?
No.
7 years. James is just like, I don't know.
No, it was my first. It was my first time like being like in a public school in 7th grade.
Okay.
So, and now I'm like, I don't want to say a young adult because you're not a young adult. You're a tween, I guess. But as a tween, you're super like cognizant of school. You're like, oh shit, school, people, popularity, like all the shit in your head. All the drama. You're looking at you're aware of all this shit. So it's my first time being really hyper aware of that environment. And I remember going to the cafeteria for the first time and being so fucking confused. Because you could buy food, and I was used to just going to buy milk.
I thought James was gonna be like, the jocks are over here, the dweebs are over here. I don't know what's going on. No?
I'm sure I went the first couple days and sat by myself in a corner somewhere. I have no idea, but I just remember going in the fucking cafeteria line for months, being so confused and wanting to buy like, you could see the kids buy the fucking personal pan pizzas, and I'd be like, oh man, I want one of those, Or you'd see tater tots or whatever. And then I found out, I was like, oh shit, they have breakfast? You could buy breakfast here? If you get here early enough?
Oh yeah, some kids, go for breakfast, which I never understood either. But I guess it's mostly for, I'm poor and I don't get breakfast.
Did you go to Sligo?
At home or something? But
I did.
I did not.
Sligo had the best breakfast. Their waffles... Yo, those waffles changed my life, and I've never been able to find waffles that taste like that ever since. They were amazing. The best waffles I ever had were in Sligo. I love those waffles, and I used to race to school to get there in the morning for those waffles.
Evan, if you could go back and have one thing from elementary, middle, or high school, one meal, what would it be? What did you like? You're like, oh, it's Friday's pizza or whatever.
I mean, it had to have been the low budget,
like French bread pizza.
Probably French bread pizza. Einstein always had like a vegetable soup and crinkle cut fries. I dip in like
I remember the
ketchup
fries.
and mayonnaise mixed together.
Yeah, soup was good, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people really didn't take advantage of that pretty affordable lunch. I saw people get like pizza and a milk or pizza and fries or something, but you could get like 7 different things for lunch. You could get all of them. So I'd get all of them.
It was cheap too.
See, I at Einstein, I only went into the cafeteria itself to buy lunch like once or twice.
You always got the chicken sandwich or the cheeseburger stand.
Yeah, the a la carte thing or whatever they called it, out in the hallway. Yeah. I was used to
felt like a badass.
Wasn't that for something? That was like money. That money went to the school or something, right? It went to some charity or something like that. Those a la carte, the ones that were outside.
Not that I know.
You talking about outside the cafeteria, right? They had little booths. I thought those were for something.
Yeah, that was just one booth though.
Yeah,
there was
when I went there,
multiple.
I guess I don't know. They had I thought those booths. I don't know, but they had a booth. Yeah, and you could buy a wrapped up sandwich. But I thought that was for a reason. Like, oh, this money raises for the thespian club or whatever,
If it was, I don't recall any of that.
Same.
So
they had chicken sandwiches, cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
Also fries, soft pretzels that weren't very soft. That's all I remember.
Those pretzels were a scam.
Yeah.
I'm sure everything there was a scam. I was like, here's a 20, like every
mean,
day.
I think
like,
breakfast-
I don't know what I was
think
doing,
that
man.
breakfast was
Oh, dude, the lunches, even the
Lunch
breakfast
like
or the lunches there
$2.
were still super. Yeah, everything there is cheap. I mean, it's if for whatever reason, a public school is cheap. I guess it's because it's whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's for the children. Yeah. But then there were some people. I remember this especially in elementary school, but I'm sure it happened in middle and high school too. So some people got free lunch, and or free breakfast, and some people got reduced lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like they'd pay like
They had
40
little
cents instead of like
blue booklet.
$1.10 or some shit.
Do you remember those?
Is that what it was?
I don't know.
I don't
you
remember
guys,
those.
So these guys were like
I don't
a year
remember,
or 2 years
but-
behind me. I think a year behind me. When I went to Einstein, they had it was a blue booklet. Or maybe it was Sligo. I don't know what school it was, but there was a blue booklet that those kids got. And that booklet had little pull-offs. And they could pay for their lunch with those things. And they get 30 of them or whatever, however many days worth a month. And they'd have them. And some kids used to sell them. They'd sell those things for like $1 or something like that,
Entrepreneurs.
But yeah, I remember those and remember that, man, I want some free lunch. Because I was a little fatty back then. I was like, man, free is better than money.
It's like, how much do I have to pay for a free lunch?
Yeah, exactly. How much should I have to pay for this book to get free lunches?
Yeah.
Oh,
Good
man.
times.
Yeah, those were the days.
All right.
Those were the
So
days.
now for my food scam story. Not nearly as intricate or involved
Ooh.
as James' IHOP
Oh,
endeavor.
yeah. I was wondering this Taco Bell here.
So I hadn't been to Taco Bell in what seemed like weeks, probably closer to a month. So I went last night, and reiterating what James said, everyone was fucking out. I guess because they're like, the world is open again. Let me go to Taco Bell. Every
What time did you go there?
9:30 p.m.
Oh god, it was busy.
Oh yeah, it took half an hour to get through the line. The drive-through.
You went to the
Yeah.
drive-thru? Yeah.
So I saw an ad the other day.
A half hour?
crazy.
Yeah.
God damn.
It
Were you
was.
downtown?
That is crazy.
Is that why you were like,
Nope.
Jesus?
Nope. Very suburban
I've never
area.
been to a drive-thru
Me
line
neither.
that's like a
Yeah.
half hour. That's insane.
And it wasn't even like they were slow making the food. I don't think. I mean, maybe people ahead of me had crazy orders.
There were just 1,500 cars
Yeah.
in front of you? I mean, what
Yeah,
the-
but I really wanted.
Okay.
I saw a commercial for the naked chicken chalupa,
Uh-huh.
which I was not able to
it's a-
get last time it was on the menu. So I really wanted to try it.
Uh,
Went to Taco
okay.
Bell, got the naked chicken chalupa, and they have a Grande's nachos now, which is like so much better than the Nachos Bill Grande, because they use shredded cheese on it, and of course I ordered no beans and I added jalapenos. But that's like a legit plate of nachos, $5. I recommend it if you want to go to Taco Bell.
I have had that. It's
Yeah.
not bad.
So, this naked chicken chalupa, it's very clearly, once you get it in your hand, once you unwrap it, number one, it's quite small. It's smaller than a regular taco. The shell is thicker, so I guess that compensates, but it's very clearly a breaded, deep-fried, then shaped chicken cutlet.
Oh, so
Not exactly what
I'm
I
looking
thought.
at a picture of it. I'm like, where's the meat?
Yeah, the meat is the taco
It is
shell,
the meat.
which is also how they scam you, because inside the taco shell, it's just vegetables. There's no meat, because the shell is the meat.
You know, Evan, I remember having that previously. I don't think I've had one in a while, and being disappointed.
I was disappointed.
but I
Yeah.
couldn't remember why. And now
looking-
you
I'm
just
looking at
saying
the
makes sense.
cross-section.
Yeah,
It's like a fucking hustle.
because
Yeah.
I bought into because I remember biting into it and being like, eh.
I was
what is this?
disappointed
It's kinda
with
like, meh.
the size. The flavor was okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, their
Yeah.
whatever their previous, like, I want to say like cheesy double stack chalupa, but the one that they came out with like 2 months ago, that tastes better. And then the lack of extra meat, I was just like, oh, that's a sucker punch, you know. So I cannot recommend that you get the naked chicken chalupa just on a out of
You know,
principle.
it's sad. The advertising works. I want to try it now. Now that you've talked about it, I'm like,
Well, it's like now that you shat all over it, I gotta
it's
go
like,
get
I
one.
can prove Evan wrong. But I'm looking at pictures.
Yeah.
It doesn't look very
Great.
impressive. You know?
Mm-mm.
It's just some pressed. What would you say? Chemically separated ham.
Mechanically processed chicken.
Processed chicken. Yeah, pressed into a
Yep.
shape and then turned into a thing. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
the pictures. It looks like some people get like ones that look like this, and then some people get ones that look like this.
Yeah, I got a tiny one.
Yeah, it's like those things, Michael, you see at the 7-Eleven, where they're like, "Oh, it's got meat and it's a tiny ass taco with a little pocket of meat in it." That's what one of them looks like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I was like, "That's."
I would say.
Oh, that must be what
I would say
got.
realistically, it's in between the size of those things and a regular taco.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like what I had. Yeah.
Maybe they get
If I
really
recall
tiny
correctly.
people for the commercials, but they make them look huge, which is why I was excited.
Yeah, tiny ass
Tiny
hands.
people, of course.
Yeah.
Carnies.
Anyways, there's lots of food scams out there.
Dude, I saw a picture, and I don't want to start us on this whole thing, but this reminds me of what he said, because I do believe that they probably did get somebody with tiny ass hands. I saw one of the pictures, and it looks huge. But I was like, but now that he said it, I'm like, this heifer has to be has tiny ass hands, because
She's 4'8".
I saw a picture, right? They took a pizza, it's a whole pizza. They open up out of the box. They take the pizza out. They put it on a wood plate, like a kind of thing you put in the oven.
Yep.
And they
peel.
Yeah, peel. They put it on top of that. Then they drill 2 slices down. They put a screw through it and drill them down. Then they take one slice, pull that one slice out, take fucking Elmer's glue and it's like Elmer's glue and something and nail polish remover or something. They take 2 things that are crazy that don't go together, and they paint them on the inside seam of that slice of pizza, on both sides, on the pizza slice they pulled out and on the inside seams, and they push it together. So then when they pick it up, it looks all cheesy, you know. And I was like, oh my god, yeah. You know, there's a guy. I'll have to find it. I'll put it in the show notes. There's a guy. He does videos on like how these people make food look good, and it's like we all know about like the paste. When you look at cereal, it's actually paste. It's not milk.
Yeah.
It's Elmer's
I heard
glue.
it was Elmer's glue.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Paste is the kind that comes on stick, but you know, it's Elmer's glue. It's a liquid Elmer's glue.
Yeah. I saw when I was a kid. I saw some program on TV where they exactly that. They showed you how they're like, you're like, your cereal. That's Elmer's glue in the commercial. It's like, what?
Yeah.
And then like a hamburger, like to make it look all big and juicy and everything. You know, like they put like it's held together with toothpicks inside and all kinds of bullshit, so it looks all big and. You know, and they're gluing additional sesame seeds onto the bun, and you know, like all kinds of stuff.
So it wouldn't surprise me if they went so far as to
geez.
have somebody with just tiny ass hands hold. They got a 4'4" woman.
Or they made a big one just for that.
Yeah,
that's
and then
true.
You're getting fucking whatever, you know.
You're buying a lie.
There you go, peasant.
But James, when you get one, let me know what you think.
I will.
So,
He's like, I got one coming. It'll be here in 20 minutes. Like,
yeah.
Like, such is our modern world.
So, Mike, how was your week?
Week was good. You know, a little work, a little this, a little that. Went out last night. Overdid it a little bit, but you know, I'm here. Starting to feel better now. So.
Good. I mean, you gotta keep your organs in check once in a while. Let them know.
I guess they're keeping me in check. I don't know.
You know, it's a symbiotic relationship. Give and take.
Yeah. I saw one of our friends earlier this week. Friend of the show, Mr. OVH.
Shout out.
Yeah. So that was cool. Saw him on Thursday.
He called me and berated me about having a show out. He said, I need you to get that latest show out by Friday night. I was like, okay. Still not out. 3 days later.
He probably has more time to listen now.
I mean, he listens.
Which is good.
I guess he listens on his way home. He's not doing this long haul thing, right? Not yet.
Oh, I assumed he was.
Night.
Yeah, but he
Not
listens
yet.
on his way home, and he listens. when he can while he's driving and stuff like that. I mean, he listens to a shit ton of podcasts. He told me he listens to Joe Rogan and stuff. So,
Well, Mr. O, we appreciate you.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's about it, really. Not too much else to tell. Not a lot going on. Just some work stuff. Getting ready for our one of our moves. One of our migrations.
Yep.
So.
Did if it's not secret information, any developments on joining my side?
I haven't heard. Yeah. No news is bad news. I guess, so. Yeah, I haven't heard one way or the other. But it'd be nice, it'd be cool, but meh.
Yeah. Well, if you really want to join my side, there are some new postings for GS 12, 13, and 14 positions, I believe, with the IRS on USA Jobs. Yep. Very generic descriptions. I'm going to apply for a couple of those 14s because the title is something along the lines of IT Systems Administrator Operating Systems.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Sounds good.
Sign me up.
I feel like the government, the way they hire people is a scam. They tell you stuff like that, and you get there, and they're gonna be like, "Okay, you're gonna be our haiku admin." You're like, "Huh?"
Yeah. It's like, what do you know about mainframes?
Yeah, it's like you code Unisys, right? Like, huh? Yeah.
Yes, my Remington Rand mainframe work is top notch. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. So,
well,
like I said, Evan, that'd be nice, but we'll see. And I'll take a look at that other stuff you mentioned. I'll take a look at that. See what's what. Just for the heck of it.
Good luck on all fronts.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
I went to work this past week for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to help with round 2 of decommissions, aka emptying the building of old garbage. Got about we moved 2 tractor-trailer truckloads of empty racks out of the building. So that was fun.
Did you procure
wow.
for yourself?
Unfortunately, that was that's a negative.
Oh, I did swap out a couple servers this week at work.
Nice.
Forgot about that.
Feels good.
Yeah, I had to mail the old ones back.
What?
If anybody doesn't know,
Yeah.
basic theft of decommissioned hardware is the IT worker's prerogative.
It is at my discretion.
Oh my.
The method of disposal.
It's at your discretion. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's... I don't think the racks were asset tagged or anything. They're just like, empty rack, load it up. But yeah, got another 10 pallets of old hardware. There was, Mike, if you want to look this up, a Sun Store Edge L100, I believe. Could have been an L1000. Very old tape library. Probably held like 40 tapes. It was like a 12U system. Weighs fucking 350 pounds.
I was gonna say that's gotta be heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
We have one of these at my office in a closet.
Okay, cool. So
yeah, I'm looking at it now. I'm like, oh yeah.
So they're very.
Ours is one of the smaller ones, though. Maybe like the L25. I'm looking at, like that.
So very old, and it was full of tapes, and we're like, how the fuck do we get into this thing? We're going through the menus, trying to guess the 4-digit code to like unlock it, because it has three doors that contain all these cartridges, and they're magnetic locks. So what do we know about locks and safety, especially if it's magnetic or electronic? There's no way to get into it, right? But like you have to, you got to break. Yeah. So, well, you guys are smarter than I was and one of my coworkers, because if you're like, it's locked, this thing's engaged. If you unplug it, it's like, oh, we need to be more secure about this now. We're staying locked. Flip that around. You unplug it, everything unlocks.
Yeah.
Like, great. It took about half an hour to figure that out.
Oh, jeez. That's how most of that stuff is. You unplug them and it de-energizes the thing, you know. I've never had to deal with a server like that, but that's how doors are. There's no power. It's just like, oh, okay. It's not safe.
Now, lesson learned. And this thing was so heavy. It wasn't on like, you know, quick release rails or anything. Of course, it's too old for that. But it was just on like a shelf. Couldn't move it. Got behind the rack. Tried to kick the back while someone was pulling the front. Couldn't be done. Called over a facilities friend. He brought a crowbar. That did the job.
Jesus.
Yeah.
A crowbar. Just for leverage?
He was like, someone was rocking the rack to try and like jostle it a little bit. He had the crowbar wedged between the like the side of the rack where you have all the holes for the screws and everything, and the back of the server, fucking prying his life away, and I was kicking the back of it, and we got it out.
So this thing doesn't have to go back in service, right? You're not like, we need to get these tapes.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, I ripped the front of it off, trying to figure out the lock thing also. so it's like destroyed.
Did you get the tapes out?
Yes.
What for? Like, do you care about the tape? I guess okay. You don't want to turn it in with the tapes.
You got to wipe them.
Tapes,
right? You have to turn
wipe
them in.
them or shred them or whatever you're going to do. Yeah.
So that was an adventure.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, as discouraging as that was, that's what I like about being able to work in a data center sometimes.
Yeah. That's my favorite part.
Mm-hmm.
I like that better than the fucking
the rest of the stuff. The two servers I had to swap out, so we had two servers in there in service, and the goal was, all right, put these new ones in the rack, and then those old ones are going to get powered off, and then you're going to plug in these new ones, you know, just move the cables over and power them on, right? And of course I took the easy way out by so the two other servers are in there with rails. These came with rails, but right below the two existing servers was an empty shelf.
So you just stacked them.
So yep, just bop bop right there.
I would not have done that. I would have put them on rails because rails these days are super easy.
I'm sure it would have been fine, but we're also going to unrack all the equipment from that rack in like a month or two. So, and put them in a new rack. So why bother?
Did you already lose the rails?
No, they're in the rack with the new servers.
Okay, that's fine.
Just sitting in their box.
Just make sure you don't lose them. You're like, okay.
Nope, not going to lose them. They're HP DL whatevers. DL 380s or whatever you call them, 360s. But they're 1U.
Yep. That's like what James and I have. Probably 360s or maybe even 160s.
How much were those, Mike? $265, right?
The ones that we bought? $294.
Yeah, the price went to $440.
Yeah.
I went to buy another one.
Oh, wow.
It fluctuates a bit. You can probably, I mean, depending on when you want to buy one, just finding an equivalent one on eBay and then, you know, outfitting as necessary is probably cheaper.
Yeah. Oh, and I swapped out a couple hard drives here at home.
Evan. Yep. Oh, me too. I forgot to mention that our NASs have suffered some casualties lately.
Our NASi?
Our NASi, yep. Our Nazgul. So I have two of my 2 terabyte drives faulted.
Oh.
Which is okay because I set up dual redundancy for each VDEV. But if one more fails, then everything is gone. However,
did you get some new drives?
I usually keep a 2 terabyte and a 3 terabyte spare on hand. I had a 2 terabyte, so I probably have like 3 hours left until that array is resilvered, and I ordered 2 more, one to replace the second faulted drive, and then one to have on hand, and I also have a 3 terabyte coming to keep on hand. So I should be like all good on Tuesday.
This is the True NAS?
Yep.
I see. How many drives in there total?
16.
16?
Yep.
Oh my god. What kind of case do you have?
I have a Super Micro 4U 24 bay hot swap server case.
Dang.
Yeah, it's nice.
Evan's got it going on.
Slightly, no. It was when I got it, but I ripped out both the, they got
Holy
the tiny,
man, they're gone.
the thin. I did actually. James, you won't be proud of this, but you might admire my ingenuity. So, of course, some of the loudest parts are the full of 80 millimeter, 10,000 RPM industrial fans when you get them, of course. Ripped all those out. I zip tied 3 140 millimeter fans together to form 18-inch by 7-inch wall or whatever it is. And that is double-sided taped where the 80 millimeter fan cage was. Huh. So it moves more air, but you can't hear it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And then there's a 120 millimeter fan at the back for exhaust. There's a nice desktop. There's like an 850 watt power supply in there. I ripped out the dual redundant ones because those are also super loud. Cut out all the pieces that, for mounting them. Ripped out all the cabling that was routed for that. So it's basically like a workstation now with 24 hot swap bays.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I salute your ingenuity. That's good.
Nice.
Yep. But one of these days I'll take Mike's lead and just upgrade the drives. All 6 terabytes or whatever. If I feel like spending like $2,000.
Yeah, I'm in the process of swapping out all the 3 terabyte drives. So I have all 3 terabyte drives, and I'm swapping them up to 6 terabyte drives.
Yep.
So that's about the sweet spot right now for pricing.
Originally prompted by some failures. Say, why not just upgrade?
Yeah, I had a couple drives giving me lit.
Yep.
They didn't fail completely. Well, one said it failed completely, but then after a reboot and everything else, they're like powered it off for a while. Then like, oh, drive's fine, 5x5. Like what the fuck?
Oh yeah, it disappeared after
it was
we upgraded.
It was literally in there like, yeah, it was like failed. It was like that's what it said
Yeah.
before. Now it's like no, I'm good. Like whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I had my boot drive fail.
Oh yeah.
Also. So had to replace that, and then that's in its own mirror now. I have 2 USB drives. They're mirroring each other now. Although I just need to replace that and just get an SSD.
I have 2 Intel SSDs as my boot pool mirror. Haven't had any problems. It's great.
Nice. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Even if I just have it hooked up with USB, it'll still be more reliable. So,
yeah.
One of these days, Evan.
James, where's your NAS?
Not operating.
Well, he's trying to get his Nutanix cluster up and running.
True.
Running into a little small issue.
Some hiccups here and there.
Yeah.
Figure it out. So, James, how was your week?
Man. Exciting.
Chock full of activity.
Let's see.
Chock full of
excitement.
I searched the Nutanix portal for a few KBs, knowledge base articles. I emailed those articles to the government.
He's like, here you go. Government@government.gov.
I played some video games, got frustrated.
Which video games?
Squad. Yeah,
Squad. And
Star Citizen is
Star
actually
Citizen.
It's actually running pretty well now. It's actually not crashing as much. You can actually sit down and play for a few hours.
It's amazing what 9 years of development
Yeah,
will do.
right?
What about Conan
Conan
Exiles?
I'm not playing Conan.
Chivalry
After
2?
buying the $120 DLC, we stopped playing.
Good.
Chivalry 2, I saw the ad for that. I've never played any of the other Chivalry games, so I don't know if I'll get into that. Definitely cool, but
if you're getting back into your driving games, I saw there's a Need for Speed. Out.
I have that stuff all ready to get set back up. I'm trying to get back into VR, so we'll see how that goes.
Do you have a wheel?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it does he?
I don't remember seeing that. I remember your Hotdog joysticks, but I didn't remember you having a wheel.
$500 on that wheel.
Which one?
It's
the Logitech G27 or 29 or something?
Yeah,
that's a good wheel.
It's the wheel. And the wheel along with VR, amazing. The immersion is what it needs to be. It's really good. So, I mean, I probably need to buy another desk for that, so I can have that like a gaming, so I can leave it hooked up all the time. Right now, I can't hook that up to this desk, and then I'll have to take it down all the time, stuff like that. But yeah, the wheel's cool. But yeah, I haven't really done much else, man. I mean, it's my week's been pretty chill. I cleaned out my car. I've been cleaning my apartment, actually cleaning it, throwing stuff away.
Nice.
Organizing things, finding things, things I forgot about. That's really it. Keeping it simple.
You made a new friend who apparently does tutorials on Nutanix CE. Yes.
Oh, I wouldn't say I made a friend, but I talked to one of the guys who's on the CE education team or whatever. So I saw one. That's one good thing about working for Nutanix and trying to set up this thing is they post something and I can go find that guy on Slack and bug them directly. So he gave me some paths to possibly take, which I'll try. I'll probably try tonight while video's rendering. I'll try it tonight and see if I can get this thing to work.
Are these lessons or documents available to the public?
He didn't send me any documentation. He just he had a video up which gives you a step-by-step, which is a pretty decent video. But it immediately failed for me. It immediately didn't work for me. The video is assuming there's no issues at the startup process, which mine fails at startup. So he just kind of implied he thought it might be a driver issue after looking at the error. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably pull the cards out and see if that gets me tonight. And see if I can run it like that and try some other things too. Kind of rotate around and see what works for which one. Yeah, we'll see. After last install, it seems like the problem with the network cards is the actual install is breaking. It's like doing something to disable them or something. So I don't know. We talked about this earlier before the show, but I know there's other nerds out there who might hear this and be like, "Oh yeah, could be blah." So I don't know. We'll see.
Nerds. Yeah. All right, cool. We all had great weeks. Shall we get into some news?
Let us. Allow us, Evan.
I'll allow it.
Okay, so this first one is mine. And it is, I'm calling it The Great Pretender. If you click on the second link, the second and third link are both articles. No, the second link's an article. So the second link is an article. Click on that just for the show. The first link, The Great Pretender, is a video by a guy who does Twitch. He does Twitch drama, but he did a video called The L of the Day. And on that video, he does a run through of the Floyd Mayweather Logan Paul fight. Okay, that's what this is all about. And basically, people paid for this fight on Showtime. I don't know what they paid, probably upwards of $100 or something like that. They paid for the fight. And the fight was an exhibition. Go ahead, Michael. Oh yeah, total ripoff. So it was an exhibition fight that went 8 hours. I mean, eight rounds, and it's Floyd Mayweather, a guy who's 50-0, versus Logan Paul, who's 2-1, or something like 2-0 maybe. And when I say 2-0, he fought one YouTuber and one washed-up MMA guy who's fat, a fat MMA fighter in a boxing match. Okay, who's probably backgrounds in wrestling or something, or kickboxing or something, which is not the same thing as boxing, So the first guy he fought was KSI, another YouTuber. So he's not a fighter, And if you know anything about the Paul brothers, is Logan Paul and dipshit Paul, Bob Paul, I don't know. Jake and Logan Paul. If you know anything about the Paul brothers, they're controversial figures. These guys are controversial for controversy's sake. They are drama for drama's sake, and they are the worst influences on your 12-year-old son that you could ever possibly have. But that's a whole nother story for another show. So now they want to get into boxing, so they got this whole thing going on, and everybody for the longest time has been like, dude, Floyd Mayweather is going to destroy this fucking guy. It's going to be a fucking rape-a-thon in there. He's going to fucking kill this kid in one round. It's going to be a 50-second match. A lot of people paid the money just to see a 50-second fight. Just to see Floyd Mayweather go in there and knock this kid's block off. You know? So what happens? Apparently, if you watch this guy's L of the Day video, and I'll just summarize what he says here, and I thought, I'm going to repeat what he said verbatim because it was so funny. He was like, Logan Paul's going to be a great dad. He's like, I guess you're asking why Logan Paul's going to be a great dad. Why do I think that? Because I've never seen somebody hug somebody so much. He's like, I realized that my dad didn't hug me enough. Once I saw Logan Paul, how much he was hugging on Mayweather. You know? And if you don't know anything about boxing, which I don't claim to be a boxing expert, but a lot of times boxers, when they're tired, they'll hug or get close to the other boxer, either to offset their weight onto them or just to close the difference to keep from getting punched. You know, they'll come in and they'll hold the other boxer to try to keep from getting punched. Mm-hmm. So there's one moment here, and that's highlighted on this second thing. They show it here. And I can't show you the link, but if you click on the second link on the show notes, you'll see what I'm talking about. There's one moment here where there's an exchange between him and Logan Paul, and it's on the video of the L of the Day video. But there's an exchange where Logan Paul, he's swinging wild the entire time. And he's got more reach than Mayweather. He's got a fucking 4-inch height advantage on him, a 40-pound advantage on him. You know, it's crazy, you know. And he's swinging wildly, like this kid can't fight. And Mayweather, he swings at Mayweather, right? And you can see that instinct, the instinct of 44 years, you know, or let's say 24 years of boxing experience, clicks in. 24 years of being Pretty Boy Floyd, destroying people in the ring one at a time, being a methodical, in-the-ring, legal killer. Okay? It snaps in his brain before Floyd can do anything about it, and he punches Logan Paul so hard, he knocks him out. And he has to, he holds him up.
Didn't he hold him up?
And you'll see Logan Paul. He's just laying on, and Floyd's like holding him. Floyd's like, ugh. And you can see Floyd, and I bet Floyd was like, you gotta get up, man, you gotta get up. You gotta get up. You're heavy, motherfucker. So he's holding him, you know? And so the whole idea was they want to stretch this fight out as long as possible. Okay? And I get what this is about, right? Logan Paul's like, look, he's a clout chaser. He's like, we want to get this money, but I don't want to go in and get destroyed because I want to have another fight again later. Because he's in his 20s. He's at 22. So I'm sure he was like, look, we want to have another fight again. So let's let this fight go the full 8 rounds. You're not going to knock me out. I'm going to talk shit to you and harass you for the next 6 months, but you're not going to knock me out. I'm not going to be able to hurt you because you're Floyd Mayweather. You're going to get paid $20 million. I'm going to pay $8 million or $10 million or whatever. And I get to walk out and say, I held my own against Floyd Mayweather. Because in the long term, nobody's going to remember the details of the fight. You know? Nobody's going to remember that Floyd Mayweather, out of and I don't remember the exact, oh, here we go. This guy's got it right here. Perfect. I'll link this in here. Nobody's going to remember that Floyd Mayweather threw 14 jabs, landed 7 of the 14 jabs. Logan Paul threw 73 jabs and landed 7. Logan Paul had, 144 power punches, landed 21. Mayweather threw 93, landed 36. And the total punches that were thrown and landed 28 for Logan Paul, landed 43 for Mayweather. How many do you think Logan Paul threw?
219.
217.
Ooh.
Mayweather threw 107. So he's 40% compared to 13% landing average.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, nobody's going to remember those stats. All they're going to remember is, and especially the Logan Paul machine has already started. Jake Paul was there at the fight covered in gold looking like a fucking idiot. He said, my brother won, you're 50-1. He kicked your ass, Floyd. Oh. They're already starting, right? So they're gonna do their fucking spin machine to market getting another fight going on with some other YouTuber or something like that to build up this whole like thing, because they don't really care. I don't think they actually care about like this is not like we're passionate about fighting. That's not it. I think they're just passionate about getting money. They have an empire. Everything they do is about getting paid, you know. And there's actually the guy I talked about last week, Drew Gooden. He does like a fucking disassembly of the Jake Paul, Logan Paul empire, about Team 10 and all their little business things and their merch and all this stuff, and everything's about making money. Everything's about making money. And if you look at it from that perspective, this fight is a great fit between two money-hungry, greedy people: Floyd Money Mayweather, and Logan and the Paul brothers. Okay, and what's funny is, at the end of the fight, you know, they have this mandatory press conference they have to do. So, Floyd Mayweather comes in there. He doesn't look winded or tired. He looks like he can go another 35 rounds. He's chilling. He looks fresh as a daisy. He sits down there, and that's the third link. The third link is the entire 27 minutes of his interview. The first half of the interview is basically him saying, yeah, man, you know, I'm not going to talk ill about the kid. You know, he hugged a lot. He wrestled a lot. He has a wrestling background, so he did a lot of grappling. But you can see that it's conditional. It's consensual grappling. They're both grappling each other. They're both hugging each other. Because this wasn't about fighting. This was about... Well, it's about
the
keeping
love.
Logan Paul up. It's about keeping Logan Paul fucking standing up in the fight. That's all it's about.
Yeah.
You know? Logan Paul probably didn't even get hit that hard that often. He probably was just tired because of shitty conditioning. You know? He had no fucking stamina. And you can see the snippets of the fight. He looks tired as fuck. Like, he just looks like a fucking utter mess. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, so that's the first half of the interview. The second half of the interview is Floyd Mayweather saying, look, he's like, I'm the king of legalized bank robbery. If y'all gonna let me rob you, I'm gonna rob you. Because I'm getting paper. You know? And it's like, this guy, L of the Day, is really funny with it. He says in the thing, and I encourage you to watch his video. It's like 8 minutes long, but he's really concise with it. And he shows some clips of the fight and stuff like that, what he's illegally allowed to show. He says on there, he says, they asked Floyd a question. They asked Floyd, so what do you think about Logan Paul? Like, does he have a future in fighting? And Floyd Mayweather's answer is, look, man, my money's long. He said, my manager got a yacht. I got a yacht. I'm buying more yachts. My building's got yachts. Money, 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 money. Like, he never answers any question in any serious way, because he doesn't give a fuck about this. This is a money-making venture to him. So, what does this say? Like, this is a big scam. It's a big hustle. Everyone got ripped off. People who paid for this fight, people are really upset. People want their money back. And I get it. This is worse than, like, watching, you know, and you guys probably remember this, but if you're young and you listen to our podcast, if you remember a Tyson fight, Tyson would go in there. They'd hype this Tyson fight up for a year. He'd go in there and destroy a guy in fucking 33 seconds. Mm-hmm. You know? Like, he'd destroy him. Like, this guy's dead. Oh, he's knocked the fuck out. He's done. Okay? And people be upset about that. This fight went 8 rounds, and people were pissed. Because it wasn't even a fight. You know? So, you know. Interesting stuff, man. Definitely check out the L of the Day. He's really funny. Check out this link. I mean, there's a lot of stuff cut out of this because, dude, these fucking boxing companies are so fucking litigious, man. There's no videos to watch. There's this little article here, but the article has, and I'll link this other article with the stats in it for you to see, because it has the stats here. I'll put it at the end here, but it'll show you. It's interesting to see this stuff because it's obviously a big money making venture. It's how they say, you know, money makes more money. Money breeds more money. That's it. And he's very clear. He said this is a robbery. He said he's not. That's exactly his words. This is a legalized robbery. And if y'all gonna let me rob you, I'm gonna rob you. You know. He said if you're upset, I don't care. If you write bad stuff about me, great. If you write good stuff about me, great. I don't care. And he doesn't give a shit. So yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Excellent.
Mike was in
Wow.
shock. He believed in Floyd. Mike got a tattoo.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's my guy.
That says TMT. The money team. You know that's his thing. The money team. TMT.
No, I'm all about Darkman X. You know that.
Is that you got on this show was Angels East, and it's like Angels West,
right?
Like that. It would be.
Dude, that'd be a great tattoo.
It would not be.
Evan, you don't know how obsessed we are with this one movie for no reason.
I
know. Fucking stupid. The whole dialogue's crazy. It's written by an insane person. It's like they gave DMX an 8-ball and said, "Go ahead, write whatever you want." Angels East, Angels this.
Yep, and they got real actors to be in the movie too. I mean, as real as Tom Arnold is, you know.
He was sort of a real actor.
So famous, he's known as that black guy.
Timothy Hutton? That's not his name. I made that up. That's not his name.
That's a real person who's definitely not that black guy.
A real person?
Yes, he's an Academy Award-winning actor.
Black guy with the curly curl. He got the curly things in his hair.
So he has black guy hair. Got it.
I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. He's the fat black guy who's in all those movies. He's like a Tom Arnold in those movies.
He's he was in Law and Order, right?
So he is somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. Yet none of us know his name. Oh,
isn't he the dad in Blackish?
I've never seen Blackish, so I don't know.
It doesn't matter. Dude, you know what I saw the other day? Somebody put on Instagram. Do you remember the Bernie Mac show?
Sort of, yeah.
So there was a girl, daughter, the youngest daughter in the Bernie Mac show. She's a dark-skinned black girl. She's on Instagram. Oh, me, oh, my. Oh, me, oh, my. Boy, those thighs. She's fine as hell. I can't think of her name.
Who is it?
But, James, does she do more than Instagram?
No, this was a repost, so I don't know.
Okay. Does she have a link tree page?
It's a repost. I don't think it's. I don't even know her fucking name. I just know they showed the pictures and they said Bernie Mac would be rolling his grave, and the last picture, they have sliding pictures on Instagram. The last picture was a picture of her and Bernie Mac showing us. Oh shit, that's that little girl, and she's a cute little girl, but boy oh boy, as a grown ass woman, my god, my goodness, me oh my.
Well, the black guy we're talking about, his name is apparently the most simple name ever. Anthony Anderson.
Timothy, I was almost there. Anthony. Timothy Anthony. See?
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Anderson.
Yeah, and then Hutton.
I mean, Hutton goes along with Timothy. We all know that.
Yeah, it does. Since that's the real person's name. Yeah. Yeah, Anthony Anderson. That's the guy's name. And he is in Blackish.
Okay.
As Andre Dre Johnson. He was also in something called Mixed-ish. Is that related to Blackish?
Probably.
And there's also Grown-ish.
Stop.
I didn't make it up, man.
Yeah, well, we could be.
You sure?
All right. Well, why don't we go to the next article here?
Her name is Kamala Winbush, and she's married to some other black guy actor he's like 2 steps below that guy, but I recognize him, but he's not that guy. He could have been that guy if he kept working, but I don't think he's working anymore. But I recognize him from something.
Okay. Well, if it's all right with Mr. Dr.
Once again, I will allow it.
Dr. Neil Blevins, Esquire. I will go to the next article, which is mine.
Please do.
Which is... So, I saw this actually in the Washington Post also, but then I saw this Vice one. So I linked the Vice article here. Adult woman pretended to be a middle schooler for an entire day and no one noticed.
So she can get in a lot of trouble?
Just a prank, bro.
She's obviously going to get in a lot of trouble, right?
Yes. So it says here, a Texas mom dressed up as her daughter and attended almost a full day of the girls' classes. So she took her daughter's place before anyone noticed, proving her point that the school needed better security to protect the kids from a mass shooting. Okay. That was her whole point. And she recorded much of her day and ended up posting it on, I think, on YouTube.
No, but she looks. They show a picture without her mask on. She looks old as fuck.
She's 30.
I mean, she doesn't look like a fucking middle schooler.
She has a 13-year-old daughter. Yeah.
There's nothing about her that looks like a 13-year-old.
But apparently she is like 4'11" or something. Like, so it's just pretty,
We're not teachers and we don't have to interact with the youth on a regular basis. But if you see this person sitting in your class, do you think that you'd be like, who are you?
Oh, they're all wearing masks all day, right?
Still.
I wonder
I mean, you can see like eyes and some facial features. Now, granted, this is a mother-daughter situation. Maybe they look damn near identical. I don't know.
Right. So it says she's 4'11", dressed in a hoodie, jeans, sneakers, and a black face mask. Garcia apparently blended right in with her 13-year-old daughter's classmates.
Nobody.
It says here she said hello to the school's principal, spoke to teachers, had lunch, and even went to gym class without much of an issue. So it was only in the last period that the teacher was like, who the hell are you?
So they did notice.
At the end of the day, yes, they noticed.
So let me ask you this. What does that say about her daughter? That her daughter can go to school and has no relationship solid enough that people didn't fucking know that she wasn't her daughter. Like, if my dad, let's say my dad looked like me. If my dad went to school as me, I didn't have a whole shit ton of friends, but the few friends I had would be like, who the fuck are you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no level of mask that's gonna make your personality be like, oh yeah. I'm baffled, honestly. Where are her girlfriends? She have no girlfriends?
Yeah, I don't know. They don't go into detail about any of that, so I wonder if like she told people ahead of time, or like that's the only way that would work, right? Like you said, like your friends would be like, hey, hi, I'm Casey. Hello, Philip.
Yeah.
Like,
Steve Buscemi.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but apparently it worked almost all fucking day, and she got arrested.
She got arrested, and does her daughter get expelled? That'd be crazy.
Yeah,
No,
she's not a fucking
I don't
hero.
think so.
She's an idiot.
It says here she was charged with criminal trespassing and tampering with government records.
I don't see how that works. Maybe identity theft.
I mean, because she lied on the tenants. That's probably why they got her for that.
So attendance is a government record?
It sounds like it is to me.
That's...
Technically, it's a government record, right?
Technically. I cannot refute or repudiate that.
It's information held
So
by
it must be
the government on people being in class and shit. So, yeah.
I didn't know that skipping school was a crime.
Are you a truant?
Yeah.
Right. Is it really a crime? Or is it like... Is that just like... Only a crime in Mississippi or something? Like, I don't understand.
I don't know.
Like,
under the age of 18, does your daily location have to be accounted for by a government body or something?
I don't think so.
If you're not
I
homeschooled?
think you have to be in school if you're not homeschooled. But I don't think they have to be like, where are you? I think you're supposed to be in school.
Yeah, it's like, send the cops. Like, I never, like, apparently that's a thing? I don't know. But you guys never heard of that either, right? Not really.
Oh, I've heard of it. I don't know how valid it is.
I've heard of...
But we never heard like, oh, Josh got arrested, man. He was truant.
No.
Right. That never happened to anyone we know or even heard about it or anything, right? I mean, it's not a thing. So I don't get it.
Media scare tactics.
Maybe.
And this thing that she did, I feel like this is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Her reasoning, I think it's bullshit. Like, what would she have done if somebody was like, if she got hit on by like a kid? You know, like there's so many things that can happen in high school.
She'd suck his dick.
You know what I mean? Like, what? There's so many things that can happen in high school that it just doesn't seem. You can't just walk in and be like, you know. I just don't understand the like. And think about it. How many school shooters impersonated kids all day?
0.
This is like, it's so weird.
They didn't need
they
to
were the
impersonate the kid.
So,
they were the
so
kid.
this doesn't really prove anything. You know what?
Well, I guess they're not all the kid, right? I guess there's some.
Unless, James,
just a random person.
was she carrying automatic weapons all day?
Yeah, that'd be something.
She could have been. That would have been crazy.
This still doesn't make her point. It's not a valid point. Because she went in, impersonated a kid, and then sat around all day doing kid stuff all day.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It's not like she was carrying a gun or didn't get searched or something like that. And she looks
like, I set up 9 bombs in the building.
She looks like her daughter. You know? And I've never...
Well, that's her point, though. She did not get searched or anything,
I don't want them
nor
to get
did
searched.
anyone else. I mean,
I don't want them to get
I agree.
searched.
We have to keep them safe, James. Do you want to get on a plane or not? Like,
kids,
you got to get searched, baby.
Look,
let's see that butthole.
Need to be better parents. You're horrible. Parents need to be better parents. I don't want my kid I don't have a kid, obviously, but I don't want my kid to go to school and people like, let me see your ID. Papers, please, papers. Like, I don't want that. There has to be a line, dude.
Metal detector, clear backpack.
Yeah, there has to be a line.
No backpacks. You heard that one, right?
Nope.
Yeah, they want to do no backpacks in some places.
Why?
Including, that's mentioned in this article.
What are they turning school into? Prison?
It's a camp. It's a fucking detention center. It's a holding pen until fucking 3 p.m.
That's horrible.
All they care about...
Well, maybe it needs to be. Maybe the people wouldn't be jacking cars.
No,
you know what
whatever.
else? The problem is not... The problem is people... The schools are just like, look, I don't give a shit what you do outside of here. Just don't do it here. That's all they care about. They don't care. No one is trying to address this problem of gun violence. They're just like, do gun violence elsewhere. Do it across our boundary line.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is really telling us. And her whole rationale is fucking stupid. Like, I've never heard of a school shooter sneaking into a school, impersonating a kid, and then going on a killing spree. No. You know what they do? They walk in the middle of the day, you know, and yeah, maybe you shouldn't be able to walk into a school in the middle of the day, but that's not what she did. She came into school and pretended to be a kid who people are kind of familiar with seeing. And obviously her daughter is some fucking weirdo recluse who doesn't have any fucking friends or any relationship with teachers. Teachers didn't like me, and if someone came in impersonating me, they'd be like, who the fuck are you?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah,
I am James.
Yeah, I'm Josh. Like, what?
Why didn't they like you,
That's
James?
a fuck up, you know.
He was a troublemaker.
Sleeping in class or fucking being a clown or whatever, doing whatever dumb shit kids did, you know what I mean?
You know what, James? ADHD.
Okay, thank you. The only class I liked was science. Every other class was like, I hated it. So, I mean, that was bad. So, I mean, I'm sure, I know teachers, they probably tolerated me. They're probably, oh, this kid's a fuck up, you know, whatever. But I feel like most teachers make an effort to kind of know the kids in their class. Like to remember their names and put a name with faces and shit like that, you know? So, I'm really surprised that she could go through school and just be like, you know?
Well, as we said, they're all masked up, and maybe she looks just like her daughter.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know. You know,
there's a scene where she has her mask
knows?
off, and as soon as she's masked off, like, this is an old ass woman. Like, she's grown as fuck. She ain't no fucking 13-year-old.
in this embedded YouTube video.
Look fucking stupid. Have you ever seen a 13-year-old? They look dumb as fuck.
Yeah. Also,
Their body's not even finished.
you
growing.
kind of, even if you didn't have an assigned seat in all your classes, you like sat in the same place, right? which this woman probably would not have known her daughter's seat. So they'll be like, what are you doing over there? Wait, who are you?
Yeah, I mean, seats, friends, assignments. There's all this.
There's a lot of negligence going
her
around.
Her daughter would have had a briefer on this whole shit. Where do you sit? I mean, she must maybe her daughter did, right? Maybe this is a plan. Her daughter briefed her on all this stuff, and they went through everything with a fine-tooth comb. But I mean, this doesn't seem like some smart guy operation.
Could be.
This seems like she was trying to play a gotcha. She's trying to play a gotcha on the school system, and she probably thinks she's gonna come out of this shit heroic. And I like Vice, but Vice isn't in the wrong here. This isn't something to be celebrated because she hasn't proved anything.
Well, are they celebrating her, or are they reporting the news?
I don't know. The fact that the way, I think Vice, look at this. Let's read the title here. Adult woman pretending to be a middle schooler for an entire day and no one noticed. Look how it's portrayed. It's no one noticed. You know, like someone should have noticed that the school fucked up. That's how it's portrayed. If I was in the word this, I'm like, possible pedophile snuck into school pretending to be a student all day.
Right.
I probably would have put that, but I put adult woman pretending to be a middle schooler and got caught in the middle of at the end of the day.
It's like she was trolling for young trim. No.
She wanted some young sausage. Ada. No, I don't know what the fuck she wanted, but this is like, she's also, like, let's go to her YouTube. I bet this is YouTube clout. I bet this is a YouTube clout situation, dude. I will fucking guarantee that's what this is. She has 7.3 thousand subscribers. Okay.
What her stats on Social Blade?
If you want.
Here's her daughter. Wait, is this her and her daughter? No. Which one is her daughter?
Point proven.
Yep.
No, that's not. This can't be. Okay. Okay. So her daughter looks way better than her, for one. Her daughter does look like a grown-ass woman. Not grown. She looks like a kid. She's way better looking than her, for sure. But she has a
James.
fucking the adult woman. She doesn't look like her daughter. You can see if you click on her YouTube page, there's one called Banana Sprite Challenge, and her and her daughter sit side by side. They don't look anything alike. The mother has a fucking fat ass head. She has a fucking fat ass head. Her daughter looks like a normal person, but she looks young. She looks like a teenager, basically. She's a little, obviously there's a lot of chemicals in the food in America, so she is probably a little, she's been
difference in development.
She's a little overdeveloped, I would believe, for a 13-year-old. But the mother is beat.
I see.
She looks old and washed out. Like there's no confusion here. There's no way you can confuse the two.
Well, James, she is a 30-year-old who has a 13-year-old.
The daughter has braces.
Yeah.
Mask all day, bro.
I guess, yeah.
So I put a link in the show notes here to the Washington Post article if you want to see any difference in reporting between Vice and Washington Post. Well, as we know, Washington Post is a liberal rag.
What does the Washington Post say?
A mom was charged for posing as her middle school daughter in class. She says she proved, quote, proved security
she did
flaws.
The same thing. But really, did she prove a security flaw? Like,
they said she says that. They're not saying she did.
Why would they point that out in their byline? If you're doing journalism, and I know this because I have a degree in journalism
From
the Dominican
NYU
Journalism.com.
Journalism. With an M. There's an extra journalism. Anyone says journalism is pronounced
Journalism.
wrong. It's Latin for journalism.
Yeah.
So, but look, if I was going to write this article, I would simply say, you know, Michael.
What would you do, James? What would you do? Tell us.
If I was going to write this article, I would simply say, Mom poses as her teenage daughter in high school. That's it. And then you print what happened. Bang, 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 and you leave it to the the reader to digest it and figure out what they think happened. Don't say leading things like, and she proved security flaws. That introduces that idea. Because if you think about,
nope, she didn't prove security flaws. She said she proved security flaws.
Why introduce that idea? She said that, but did she? That's hearsay. She didn't actually prove any security flaws. Okay? Because guess what? When you go to school, they don't take your ID and look at your kid and say, "Are you Leah?" No, they don't do that. That's not a thing they do in high school or any school.
So when I went to high school, James, they started introducing student IDs, and we had to wear them around our neck.
When I was in school, we had the same thing. We were the beginning of that. No one ever looked at my ID and said, "Are you James?" That never happened. Matter of fact, we didn't wear them around our necks. We had them in our wallets. I can't think.
Yeah, when I was in 9th grade, I had it in my wallet. But starting, I think, 10th or 11th grade,
I can't think of one time I had to pull that ID out for any reason. No one ever asked me to look. Now, I'm sure maybe now, if it's a school with like 3,000 kids in it, it's a massive school, maybe they're IDing kids. You know, I don't know. But that's not a thing that ever happened. You know? It just seems very odd. I don't know what she's trying to prove here. And they kind of imply, both of these articles imply that she proved something by just introducing the idea, by breathing life into it. And I don't think you should do that. That's bad journalistic integrity. You simply state the facts. That's it. State the facts. Don't say what this person said they did. You can say that in the article, but people should have to read the article to get there. Not read because you know what people do, they read these fucking titles, and then they're not gonna read the article and turn around and say, "This woman proved." That's what they're gonna say.
James is reminding me of Joe Pesci in Lethal Weapon. It's like, they fuck you at the drive-thru. That's how they fucking get you. They fuck you at the drive-thru. It's a good rant. If you guys have never seen it, you should check it out.
Regardless of that, we all know that that's how all the Trump shit happens. And you see all the shit on Facebook. You see all your friends who are Trump supporters. They read this shit. People read this shit. People are fucking stupid. They don't read articles. They don't read facts. They just read a little blurb. And they're like, oh, well, yeah, I guess that's what it is. They don't even read the fucking article, you know? So this is misleading, I think. I think it's misleading. Maybe the school fucked up, but I don't think she proves that. If she snuck a gun into the school, or she left a gun in the school, or she left the door unlocked, she went in, unlocked the door, and then checked later to see if the door was unlocked, that'd be one thing. Then she would have proved something.
Mm-hmm.
But just going into school and pretending to be a kid who's already related to her, wearing a mask, and it's not like she sat there all day without no mask. You know, if she sat there with no mask on, her hair, no hoodie on, nothing to disguise herself, she was just there, and no one noticed, that'd be something. You know, it would still say something negative about her daughter, but still. But that's not what she did. She had a mask on, she wore her daughter's glasses, she wore a hoodie. Like, this shooter doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this isn't a scenario that happened in real life.
But it could,
Whatever,
James.
man. We don't put you. You shouldn't pass laws on what could happen. You got to pass them on what happened. You know.
She just wanted some internet attention.
Yeah, she's a clout chaser. If you have a YouTube channel, you're fucking clout chasing. If you look at her YouTube, you see they're just clout chasing. Her YouTube. Let's see. Let's look at the videos on her YouTube. She has.
The oldest one is 3 weeks old.
She has 3 videos. Yeah. She has a mukbang fail and a banana sprite challenge. 15,000 views and 20,000 views. And I guarantee you those views are probably all within a week old. Yeah.
Because of all this.
She's a clout chaser. Okay? Does she have a fucking... She doesn't have any other information on here. I bet you she got a TikTok and Instagram and all this other shit. Let me just Google her ass. I bet you she got all that shit. She's a fucking clout chaser.
What do you think about all this, Evan?
I agree with James that it's a shame that, friends and teachers weren't suspicious immediately. I don't think her stunt proved anything having to do with security. I think she got that in her head and was like, I'm going to do something heroic, again, as James said. She'll probably get no, meaningful repercussions, and everyone will forget about this in another week. If that long.
I see.
Either that, or the school will have forced ID scans upon entry, and then everyone's gonna be like, "Thanks, bitch."
Yeah, that's the best. That's her best case right there. And I just like, it doesn't need to happen. It doesn't need to exist.
You're gonna inconvenience an entire school because you wanted attention.
Right. Well, she ruined it.
She did. Thank God my education is complete.
Yeah.
Yep, you're done learning.
I am. Sometimes I think about that and
I
don't feel like learning anything anymore. I don't have to because I'm an adult.
You're already there,
Yeah.
bro. You're good to go.
Okay. We don't have anything in stranger danger, but if anyone has applied some recent Windows updates, you might notice a little change on your taskbar, something having to do with weather and news and interests that drives traffic to... it uses Bing, and it drives traffic to Microsoft's website. A little infiltration tactics here. Forced diversions and infiltrations. I don't know if that's really stranger danger, but very easy to disable. You just right-click on your taskbar, go to, news and interests or something, and turn that shit off immediately.
I saw this and I was like, oh shit, weather bugs on my computer. That's what I thought. I was like, weather bugs back.
I told Evan I saw this in the corner. I was like, "Ooh, that's kind of fancy. That's handy."
Kept it?
Mike's like, I like this.
I've had it, but I never look. I mean, I don't. I'm not a person who.
It just popped up this week.
Look at the weather, so I just was like, all right, whatever.
I'm getting old. I look at the weather now.
You don't have weather icon on your the home screen of your phone?
Sorta.
Okay.
Yeah. I look at it everywhere now. I don't even have to open my phone.
It's going to become your major source of media ingestion. The weather's everywhere.
You know what's funny? So I clicked on it, right? I clicked on it, and then it opened up this little pop-up thing, and then it had the little 3 buttons in the back, and the top there, where it says weather and interest, and it says more settings. I clicked on that, and it's like you can adjust these settings on a website. It's on MSN.com, blah 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 blah. Show weather card, show da da da. Like, oh my god, what is this?
Trying to drive traffic. Another scam. Not food related though.
We all remember Skype.
You seem to have more trouble closing that program than others, but it was.
I was gonna say, what was the problem with Skype?
It's like there's no way to exit this fucking program.
I mean, Skype they changed it overnight and didn't tell anybody. It was just on. I got rid of it. I don't have it anymore, but yeah.
After the update, I was expecting a new Microsoft Edge shortcut on my desktop, but there was not one. But instead, there was the weather and interests, so I guess that's worse. Anyways, not really stranger danger, no link, just informative.
Good to know.
Something to look out for.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The first link in the entertainment section is mine. Just a very quick infographic having to do with sci-fi movie decisions. Now, of course, this is not everything, but if you're interested in some major releases, perhaps some you haven't seen or you wouldn't have normally seen, you can follow the flowchart.
What is?
Which we're all familiar with.
What's called the Galaxy is a space opera? What the fuck? No.
Do you disagree?
Yeah. And Star Trek is not hard
What-
sci-fi. What the fuck are they talking about? No Star Trek.
What is
hard
a space
sci-fi.
opera to you?
CVS TV in America. That's a space opera. What's it called, Michael? What's that?
And it's
Yeah,
hard
that's
sci-fi.
hard sci-fi and a space opera.
Was it a movie released in theaters?
No, it's a book. It's called Star
So-
Carrier.
Okay, these are all movies.
I don't. There's no movie I would classify as. Maybe I would classify The Martian as hard sci-fi.
Dune.
Dune as a space opera.
Yeah.
Definitely not Guardians of the Galaxy. Not Star Trek. Star Trek is made up sci-fi. It's fine, but it's made up. Guardians of the Galaxy doesn't have any sci-fi aspect to it except they're in space. That's it. There's very little drama.
Okay.
It's just an action movie. Serenity, I guess, is loosely a space opera, maybe, but it's not even fall into that because it's an episodic, blah 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 that has no science at all. You know, Firefly same way. The Last Starfighter. Star Wars is a space opera, 100%.
It's not
No,
an
it's a
action
space
movie.
opera. Because it's like Game of Thrones but in space, basically. That's what I would. If you want to classify what a space opera is, that's what it is. I know that doesn't mean anything. They call John Carter space opera. Fuck off, bro. Have you ever seen a fucking space opera? What is this?
Is that the Fifth Element down there at the bottom? I think it is, right
Yeah,
next
it
to
is.
John Carter.
Yeah.
Martian's hard sci-fi. Moon's hard sci-fi. Gravity is hard sci-fi. Primer is not hard sci-fi. Primer.
It's hard to
It's hard to
understand.
understand. It's not hard. I don't know. When I think of hard sci-fi, I think about something that takes place in space, in science that's real, is based in something. Maybe it is hard sci-fi if you take it with a space element. 2001: Space Odyssey. I guess that's hard sci-fi. Solaris. I never saw that. Gattaca. Maybe. Children of Men.
Well,
I wouldn't put that under hard
Yeah.
sci-fi, but whatever.
I'm sorry this is slightly disappointing, but if you want to have some fun critiquing or just
Evan, it allows us to have a conversation. Which
okay,
I like.
fair enough.
Let's see Cyber.
Now, of course, there's a lot missing here, and many
Sure.
of these would be replaced with better options if we made them, of course. But it's a starting point.
I like the horror
So
down
let me
here.
ask you something. Do you think Aliens is definitely horror, sure, but wouldn't you kind of consider it hard sci-fi too? No. Okay.
No.
More horror than hard sci-fi.
Yeah, definitely more horror. Idiocracy is some kind of a sci-fi comedy.
Yeah. This is
I
the
guess
time
so,
travel
okay.
element,
Spa-
or not really time travel.
yeah.
But,
Cryonics.
Attack on the Block. They have Attack on the Block here. That's a good one. Yeah, if you ever seen
That
Attack
is
on
a
the
good one,
Block, guys,
actually.
It's really good. You should watch that.
It's got the guy from Star Wars in it, John Boyega.
Mhm.
A young John Boyega.
Yes, being very British.
So Edge of Tomorrow is action, not.
Yes, it's a time travel
I
action
guess.
movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Lots of shootings.
That makes sense. It's almost a comedy too. Not really, but
Yeah.
it has funny
Mhm.
parts.
I mean, they're like
guess.
Looper.
She'll-
Looper is a. They have Looper here as action, and I'm like, Looper is probably. Well, I don't know. Okay, so maybe they're quantifying, saying what hard sci-fi is versus what action is a lack of action. like a straight up lack of action because there's very little action.
Or,
but I mean, would you say The Martian has action in it? It does, right? Sort of, a little bit, like survival based action.
no.
No.
I would say action is guns and many deaths.
Okay, I'll take that. The Wrath of Khan.
Yes.
That's action, right?
I mean, all the Star Trek movies probably are action movies.
Especially the new ones. I could probably say
New ones, yes.
First Contact, and a few of the other ones, Next Generation, a few of the Kirk ones, are kind of like they hang in the border, right? They're not hard sci-fi because they're not science based, but the new Trek, 100%, that is an action movie.
Mm-hmm.
Cyberpunk, they're dead on, except for Minority Report. You think Minority Report is Cyberpunk? No, right? That's action. And The Matrix, 100% is action.
I would probably say they're correct because there's like mind interfaces with the precogs.
Is that the only border for what Cyberpunk interface? 12 Monkeys doesn't have.
To me, none of these are cyberpunk except for Blade Runner.
I mean, Blade Runner, Ghost of the Shell, Appleseed.
Matrix.
You think The Matrix is cyberpunk?
Yeah.
I guess because there's like a computer aspect and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I guess I could see that.
And they're like traveling in, weird ships running from squid robots.
But in the Venn diagram of like cyberpunk and action, this thing sits right in the middle. It is definitely a little bit of both. Minority Report, that's an action movie. I don't think that's a cyberpunk movie at all. Because look at what Minority Report is like they have the precogs and shit like that, sure. That's like more of a fantasy element. They're not like jacked into anything. And then you have, if you look over at, let's look at action.
12 Monkeys? Is that what's listed right there?
Is that a cyber? It's just
Is
about
that a
a bunch of
cyberpunk
crazy
movie?
guys who fuck around with the future or something, right? They're like time travel or some shit. Or one guy fucks with time. I
Kind of.
saw
Have
it
you
like
seen the
fucking
movie?
15 years ago, man. I don't know. I don't barely remember that movie. And if you've seen, look, let me tell you guys, listeners, this isn't from Michael Evan. That movie's crazy. If you watch that movie, you need to watch it again. Right after.
Yeah.
You watch it once, then you fucking take a shit, sit down, stare at the wall for a little bit, process, go through your notes, then watch it one more time. That's the only way you can understand 12 Monkeys.
Yeah.
This movie's fucking crazy.
That is a crazy movie. It's the one where Brad Pitt's all twitchy and crazy.
What's his name is in it too. I think it's
Bruce
one of
Willis.
Bruce Willis' best movies because he's really in that role. He's like deep in it, like in Firefly.
Mm-hmm.
Not Firefly, Fifth Element, sort of. But it's a weird movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking strange. I need to watch it again, but it's. I don't.
I remember seeing that in the theater and being like,
Yeah,
what
that's
the
a
fuck?
mindfuck. Dude. That's a big mindfuck.
No, that's a good one, though. That is
This
a good
is
one.
my problem with these movies, though, man. Right? You see these movies and you're like, oh, nobody reads. That's what this is. Because if you read, you'd know what hard sci-fi is. I don't think any hard. I mean, I guess some of these. If you're only thinking the way you quantify hard sci-fi is realistic, true science elements.
So they put Interstellar there. I guess that would,
It has
That
some
would,
theoretical scientific elements in it.
yeah. Although, yeah, I guess so. So that, and then 2001, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's all like, like, yeah, that's why I get why they put Star Trek in there, because they're like, oh yeah, it's like, all sciencey, right? At least they have like sciencey talk in it, but like it's all like bullshit, or like half bullshit, That's the problem with it. Like, like how many times do they shoot a ship and they're like, we disabled its engines, and then the ship just stops.
Yeah.
Why would it stop? It would keep going, So, like, none of that stuff is realistic, So, and like they're little, they're shooting other ships and flying around and stuff, like maneuvering. And like it wouldn't be like that, Not at all. But anyway, I still appreciate this list, Evan, or this infographic.
Sure.
I guess it's called. I think it's valuable.
It's got some value.
And yeah, and like I said, allowed us to talk about a bunch of these movies, which is
wait.
cool.
Wait.
Oh, here we go.
Why is Total Recall
I'm trying to put a bow on this.
By their standards, why isn't Total Recall cyberpunk?
It's an action
But
movie.
it's all about, like, he's in his own brain, he's hooked up to a machine, he lives in some futuristic, crazy world where there's robots and shit everywhere. What's the standard here?
So what is cyberpunk?
I mean, when I think of cyberpunk, Ghost in the Shell is their best example of cyberpunk here. That's the best example. If you ask anybody what cyberpunk is, they're going to tell you Ghost in the Shell. That's cyberpunk. And I would say, sure.
So that means future?
Dystopian future.
Not
absolutely
dystopian.
Cyberpunk's almost...
Not like Mad Max.
It's normally dystopian of some sort. Like, corporations run everything. People are hooked up to machines. Right. Biomechanical augmentations. Space travel.
Right.
Flying cars. Futuristic things. But not too futuristic. You know, that kind of thing. You know...
So you know what's missing from this list? Keanu Reeves in...
Johnny Mnemonic?
And Jones.
Yeah, that's cyberpunk.
Yes.
That's a great example of cyberpunk.
The only thing it's missing is space travel.
But it's a great example of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but how would you... But could you classify it... See, that's the problem. A lot of these things fit into multiple categories, right? Like, that's clearly an action movie, right? But it's also cyberpunk,
but
right?
Matrix is clearly an action movie. That's 100% action movie. This guy's he's running around shooting shit all non-stop. The whole, like, robot element is just like... It's a plot device to shoot more shit. It's cool. It's a cool plot device, but it's a plot device. I mean, I don't know. I just want to know what the system is they're using to classify these things. But yeah, I digress.
I'm sorry, it's not more clear here.
I'm glad you brought the list in though, because it did give us something to talk about, and it's interesting to see how other people, even though I don't necessarily like agree, it's interesting to see how other people think about this stuff. You know, I would not classify Back to the Future as a comedy. You know?
Really?
No, I wouldn't. I would classify Spaceballs as a comedy.
Yes.
World's End is a comedy. Idiocracy is a comedy. Attack the Block's not a comedy. Galaxy Quest, comedy. But they're not like popping jokes left, right, and center in Back to the Future. I mean, do you feel like watching Back to the Future it's a joke? It's all about jokes?
I mean, I'll be honest with you, when I watched it as a kid, I took it way more seriously, you know? Like, I was like, oh, this is like, you know, this is the real deal, you know? Like, he's in trouble, you know? But then, like, I mean, the whole story is ridiculous. Like, he goes back to 1955, and then he has to, like, seduce his mom, but not, and, you know, all this kind of shit and whatever. Like it's utterly ridiculous, you know?
Like, they have it nestled between Galaxy Quest and Spaceballs. Do you really find this is the same type of thing?
No.
There are different kinds of comedy.
It's not a comedy.
I would say.
It's a comedy as much as fucking Return of the Jedi is a fucking comedy. Yeah, there's jokes in there. Han Solo's always telling jokes. They're smirking, having a good time.
What are you looking at, butthead? Say hi to your mom for me.
But assholes say shit like that.
Your kids are going to love it.
Of course they do.
Right. And Attack the Block? That's almost a fucking horror movie.
Yeah, I don't know if I need to watch that again or what, because
I'd put that in action.
That would be a comedy.
That's an action. I think that's fair.
Yeah, it's action or horror.
Or light horror,
almost.
But action is a great fit for it. Not comedy. It's not a comedy.
Yeah.
There's no, like... Yeah, there's funny moments, but funny moments happen... Fifth Element's full of funny moments. It's definitely not a comedy.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. 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 I Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, it needs work.
Do better, Evan. No, I'm just kidding. No. Thank you for sharing this. I know I'm bitching, but I just, I love
Evan
to bitch.
didn't write it.
Yeah, I'm not taking it
I'm
too
passionate
seriously.
about bitching.
James, you are critiquing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna say one last thing, then I'm done. I swear. Okay, so look,
Oh my
the
God.
funny thing is, right? I read a lot of sci-fi, and I did not know what the term hard sci-fi meant for many years. I'd never heard it before, and I read a book by a guy named I can't think of his name. It doesn't matter, but
Gary Gygax.
No. The book was called The Parent's Waif, and it's about a girl who grows up in an orphanage, and she slowly gains more power in a society where space where people live in space, and she has some kind of she's a part of some bloodline, half alien, half human bloodline, so she has some sort of power, but she's in an orphanage and she doesn't know that, and she's kind of growing in her power set, right? And they're like, this is I remember reading a fucking review by a reviewer, and he was like, this is like a masterpiece of hard sci-fi. And I was like, oh, let me look for hard sci-fi. That's how I can find more stuff like this. So I didn't know what was classified as hard sci-fi until then. So my point in saying that is, people know what action is. The term space opera might make sense, but obviously to this person they're classifying Guardians of the Galaxy as a space opera, so they don't know what it is either. But if you,
I mean, to me, you could almost take Interstellar and call it a
maybe
space opera.
it sort of fits that. Space operas are normally like, they're like Dune, like it's like 36 hours of watching or something like that.
Right. Which that other movie classifies as also. It's like 3 hours long or something.
Yeah. So I don't think, but I think hard sci-fi. It's just funny how they classify this, right? They say hard sci-fi, and they have a picture of fucking Spock. If I didn't know what hard sci-fi was, that wouldn't mean anything to me, and it would give me the total wrong idea about what it is. So then you think, this guide is supposed to help you figure out, okay, I like hard sci-fi. I don't know what hard sci-fi is, but I like it, I guess, because I like Spock. So you see hard sci-fi, and it says kinda, yes, no. So they say, if you don't like hard sci-fi, go to space operas. Huh? If you kind of like it, Star Trek? Or it's just a very oddly it's not, it could be better. It could be a better list. I think if you're interested in science fiction.
Do we need our own list?
Cool, but I know we're all super unmotivated. But I think if you're interested in sci-fi, guys, check this out. Go to the show notes. Open this up. It's got great movies in here. All these movies are good, except for Serenity and Firefly. That's a touchy subject. But everything here is good. You're not going to go wrong watching any of these. So this is a great way to just like kind of get into it.
I mean, obviously, this list is not. It isn't,
but it touches on it. Like.
It's missing.
I would say it's a great.
Stuff,
what's the term to help you get into something? It's a great primer. On science fiction in general. Because a lot of things here, Guardians of the Galaxy. I bet you people who wouldn't watch Star Trek watch Guardians of the Galaxy. So if you watch this, if you see this chart, you might think, oh, maybe there's something for me in this section or that section, because it's all sci-fi. If you're a Marvel fan, you might watch Guardians of the Galaxy because it's Marvel, but you may say, well, Star Trek, that's for fucking nerds, But really, they're not that separated. They're not that separate, If you can enjoy that, you can definitely enjoy those. So this is good for sci-fi in general. It's not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wish it was a better list. I wish it was a little more would explain to people what these things are, and how to find good ones. Like Dune should be on this list for sure.
It is.
Is it?
It is.
It's under space opera. It's like the third tier down.
That's like The Last Starfighter, Flash Gordon, and...
Oh, yeah, there it is. This is the 1984 Dune. Okay. Yeah, you're right. It is there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The new one's coming out in a year or so, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be out in fall or something.
or less.
Yeah.
Nice.
Don't remind us. It's supposed to be out last year.
Let's not even get into that. You're talking about hurt feelings all the way around. Top Gun. Dude, I just went to the movies. I went to see... Yeah,
you went to the movies?
I can't remember what movie I saw. I wasn't impressed by it. But anyway, the trailers...
I guess it wasn't Top Gun.
The trailers were like Top Gun, Dune. It was a bunch of stuff that I was like... Last year's movie is great. Fuck you, COVID. You know what I mean? Yeah, it sucks. Although we're going to have a bunch of good movies like all at once. So that's going to be a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Mike.
Law-abiding citizen. So I rewatched this movie yesterday. It came out originally in 2009. It actually has a pretty high rating on IMDb. It has a 7.4. So it's actually pretty high for most movies on IMDb. Those of you who don't know, it stars Jamie Foxx and Gerard Butler. So Gerard Butler, he's a family guy. He's got a wife and a small daughter. Chilling at home one evening. They answer the door and two guys come in and they stab Gerard Butler, but leave him alive, and then kill the wife and the daughter while they're robbing/ransacking the house. They get caught, but of course, the wilier of the two makes a deal, even though he's the one who actually did all the killing.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets the 5 years. The other guy gets the death penalty. And Gerard Butler's character does not take too kindly to that. And things ensue.
Action and murder, death, kill.
Yes, lots of action. It's an action movie, crime, it's good. It's got Chief O'Brien in it, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right.
He plays a grizzled detective. It's set in Philadelphia.
It has that black woman from How to Get Away with Murder. I can't think of her name. She's always plays this character.
Regina Hall?
The older one or the younger one? Viola Davis.
Viola Davis.
She's a good actress.
She's great.
Yeah, I forgot that she was in this movie. Then she came on screen. I was like, "Oh my god, her!" I was like, "Haha!" Yeah, she plays the mayor of Philadelphia. So yeah, it's a good one, man.
Michael J. Fox,
it's a good one.
White girl? Isn't it Michael?
Who?
Did I say Michael J. Fox?
You did.
I forgot his name. The guy who plays the lawyer.
Jamie Foxx?
He's hooking up with this like his paralegal or whatever, the white chick.
Not as far as we know in the film. That is not ever shown or alluded to. James is like, I wanted to hook up with her, so I invented that.
Dude, this movie is fucking crazy. I remember seeing this movie and I'm not gonna spoil it, but I remember being like, oh god. I remember it's been long. It's very rare you get to see a movie and get shocked. Not shocked, but you're like, what? Couldn't believe this happened.
Mm-hmm.
This movie kind of gets you there. It kind of has some moments where you're like, this motherfucker's crazy. I mean, now it's spoiled for me, but I think it subverts your expectation because you kind of expect him to be like this wounded like dad who's trying to fight for what he thinks is right. But this motherfucker is basically a sociopath. Like, he's not somebody you ever should have messed with. And you actually have a moral dilemma because he's a piece of shit. He's not a good person. And Jamie Foxx is kind of fucked up too. But he's also the law, right?
Yeah, he's one of the assistant district attorneys in the movie.
Yeah.
So he's the one who cut the deal, right, with the bad guys, or one of the bad guys. So, yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
If you've never seen it, check it out. Or if you got nothing better to do, it's worth a rewatch. Evan,
I have.
Okay.
I can confirm it is
Thoughts?
worth a rewatch.
Okay. Well, there we go. Okay, next up, something that Evan has not watched, seen, or read, or listened to. He's not consumed it in any way. A book James and I have recently both completed reading / listening to, called Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. So this is the same guy who wrote The Martian. And he also wrote... what was that other
Artemis.
movie? Or the other book? Artemis?
Yeah.
Artemis. So I've been liking his stuff. I don't know if this is hard sci-fi. It's pretty close though. If it's not,
I think this is hard sci-fi. Artemis is hard sci-fi. They classify.
Mm-hmm.
I think they classify what's called as hard sci-fi. The Martian's hard sci-fi, right? I think they do.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, very good. I finally finished it the other day, and basically, the gist of the story is that they start noticing that our sun is getting dimmer, and it's only a little tiny bit, like real tiny, but they discover the cause, and they're not sure though how to fix it. And what they end up doing is they end up building a ship to send out to, because they've noticed, so they're looking at other stars over time, like around, and they're all getting dimmer except for one. So they're like, all right, well, that one has something that the other ones don't. So they end up building a ship, and they're going to send it out to
investigate,
figure out what the deal is.
Okay.
I love the character. I don't remember her name. Strat.
Yeah.
She's like put in charge of like figuring out what's going on and like implementing the solution. So they give her like wide latitude for everything. So like the main character in the book is this guy who's actually a high school or middle school teacher, teaches science, but I mean he's actually really smart and like has like, you know, he's like a Walter White type, like he has like a PhD and whatever, and you know, all this stuff. And so he ends up discovering something about it, and they're like, all right, sir, will you come with me? He's like, okay. And then he goes through a series of like 18 hours of, all right, he's put on a military helicopter and flown to an air base. Then they put him in an F-15, and they fly him out to a carrier. And then it's like, what is going on? You know, he's like, what the hell? And like they get him all the way to a Chinese aircraft carrier where she's posted up with other people, and it's like, sup, yeah, we needed you over here, so this is the fastest way. It's like, what?
Nice.
Like, you
so
know.
let me ask you a question. What kind of spaceships are they working with? Because right now we can't just send a ship to another star to check it out.
So a part of the I don't know how much I want to give away.
I mean, I'm not going to read it.
Part of the
It's true. It's a problem.
Part of the so they discover that what's causing the sun to dim,
right,
is
sunglasses,
a organism in space, and they liken it to like algae,
right? Okay,
but it's, you know, space algae,
right,
and it likes the sun, you know, likes the sunlight.
All of them except one. It likes all the stars except one.
Right, exactly. So, and they figure out that it actually migrates between Venus and the sun, and it goes back and forth. And they capture some of this stuff. Like they get a probe, they capture some of the stuff, bring it back to Earth. They're examining it, you know, trying to figure out how it works, all this stuff, and they figure out it's the most energy efficient
organism
thing ever.
Okay.
Like more efficient than our nuclear reactors, more efficient than anything,
right?
You know.
I mean,
and so they're able to harness its power to power their own spaceships.
It's basically it's turning energy from the sun, like whatever chemical from the sun, it's taking it to Venus, and then internalizing this thing from Venus, and then taking it and holding it. So just holding like this fucking energy, and just holds it like crazy, never lets it go. And I forgot what it was. It was like it eats all heat, or something like that. What was it, Michael? I can't remember what it was. It's something about, like, they use it as a radiation shield, too, because nothing can pass through it. You know, it's the way it is, it's, like, completely, it's not opaque, but you know what I mean, whatever the word is.
Translucent?
No, but nothing can pass through it. It just, heat, radiation, anything just gets sucked in, and it goes into, like, a black hole.
Oh.
You know? So that's why, and they were able to harness it as energy.
Yeah, they figure out that. So if you like took a flashlight and you're floating around in space and you turn on the flashlight, it's actually gonna propel you back.
Yes.
A little tiny bit. A little tiny bit. So these things are doing the same thing. They're emitting a little bit of whatever, and that's how they move from Venus back to the sun and back and forth. And so they're able to harness these things and grow them, you know, have them multiply, and able to use it to build some crazy ship that they use to travel to. I think they travel to Tau Ceti.
Once again, humans exploiting nature's greatest creatures for their own benefit.
Yep.
It's them or us, bro.
But
what did we learn from Captain Rudy Ransom about turning organisms into energy, Mike? It doesn't end well.
It's them or us? No,
it's like, once again, it's them or us.
That's the lesson. No. Yeah, you're right. They were doing the same thing, except they're capturing, like, Delta Quadrant space ghosts or something.
Yeah, that's pretty much right. Well, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But see, the thing is, like, the way they tell the story, they kind of do, like, a back and forth, like, go to the present, you know, like he's on the ship, and then they like do like flashback to back to Earth, you know, and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth throughout the book. And of course he wakes up on the spaceship, like, you know, they put you in, like, you know,
stasis.
You're not awake for the whole trip, right? So he wakes up and he doesn't remember anything. He's like, he doesn't even remember his name. He doesn't even remember why he's there. He doesn't remember nothing.
So not only does this space algae suck the light, but it steals memories as well.
No, the way they sent them in. They don't have stasis or anything like that. They have nothing like that. They induced them in a coma. So they put the crew in an induced coma and sent them there for this like 3-year trip or 12-year trip. How many years was it, Michael?
I believe it was 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Subjective. Because they're traveling
real time,
near the
like
speed of light.
13 years real time. Yeah. So 3 years subjective, like Michael said. But yeah, so they put them in this coma, and the coma fucked them up. They wake him up. The machine wakes him up. The computer wakes him up, or whatever,
and he sees the other 2 people that he was with. They're both dead.
Great.
They died long ago.
He doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
You know,
he's all fucked up. So it's basically the stories about him trying to figure out what the fuck is happening. And it starts. The movie starts from, or the book starts from him waking up there, and slowly over time, getting, seeing something that stimulates a piece of memory, and then he's trying to solve the puzzle. Shit happens. All kind of shit happens. More shit happens. It's a crazy, crazy book. I mean, I hope they make it a movie. I'm sure they've sold the rights already. Everything Andy Weir makes, they sell the rights immediately after The Martian. So, but we never saw the Artemis, so maybe there's no movie coming out. But it's really good. I mean, I'll be really happy if they make this one a movie. This is so good. It's the kind of sci-fi we need. The only sci-fi they know how to make is like fucking, when it comes to like this type of stuff, is stuff like Gravity, Interstellar, like let's get introspective. I don't want to get introspective with my sci-fi. I want to fucking enjoy my sci-fi and have it be good, like The Martian. It doesn't have to be a think piece every time. You know what I mean? I don't need to learn about the human condition. You know, maybe we could just like see a good sci-fi show. So hopefully they'll do it. I don't know. I thought it was good though.
James, did you see the sci-fi movie? I think it's called Life. Ryan Reynolds.
That's a horror movie.
Yeah, I mean it's both.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
But I
saw some of that.
that's kind of a good one where it's not like introspection. It's like it's sci-fi horror, and at the end you're like, oh no.
It's like Aliens or something, or Alien. It's not like there's no introspection. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it.
Life.
Yeah.
With Ryan Reynolds.
Mm-hmm. And
not The Life with Eddie Murphy and whoever else is in that. I never saw that one. So.
Yeah, 2017.
It's a horror movie.
Well, yeah, kind of.
Or is this like more introspective bullshit?
No, it's not. It's
No, that's what he's saying. It's not introspective bullshit.
I mean, this is
it's not gonna
Jake
it's not gonna terrify you, but it is kind of it's a thriller, like IMDb says. It's a thriller.
So it's classified as horror, sci-fi.
I mean,
thriller.
this is my other I've complained about this to you guys before. I wish that sci-fi. It seems like
in space.
Yeah,
no one can
exactly.
hear
In
you
space,
scream.
it's like always like. If a movie takes place in space, it's either we need to think about the human condition, or it's something terrifying, like because it's so unknown. They're like, we don't know what to do. We're just gonna scare the shit out of people. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like space movies don't have to be like that. Like, I mean, Honor Harrington is a ridiculous space opera. It's a book, but that'd be a great series. It'd be a great series. It's about a woman who's out there doing her thing, making shit happen, fighting battles, falling in love. It's cool, and it's a regular story about regular people, you know? So I wish more movies would do that. More space movies would do that. Like, space is a place where we can have normal stories. You know, it doesn't have to always be some insane alien fucking zygote trying to taking over a symbiote up somebody's ass, bursting out of their chest, fucking, you know. I mean, how many times we've seen that? 1 million times. That's all Hollywood knows how to do with space.
All right, fine. Don't watch it.
No, I might watch it. I don't know. You know the one I haven't seen yet, which I still want to see, and I keep saying I'm going to watch it, but it looks like more introspective bullshit, is the Stowaway one that's on Netflix right now.
I watched like 10 minutes of that and paused it. Haven't come back yet.
What do you think? I didn't watch it yet. What do you think? What you saw 10 minutes?
Slow starter.
Yeah.
Is that the Anna Kendrick one?
What do you think?
It
Was
was
it like
okay.
Another Life?
But I don't think I watched that.
Oh.
Do
Do yourself a disservice and watch it. Yes,
Is that the one Katie Sackhoff?
And they got a season 2.
Dude, dude, so how does she in that, and she was in that 2036?
That was
Origin Unknown.
That was a really bad movie too. I think they got her on one of those Adam Sandler deals where they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do like 6 shows with you or something." But you tell me how they canceled.
Who's gonna keep cranking
Yeah,
garbage
you
after
tell me how
garbage
they
out?
canceled BoJack Horseman on Netflix, but they're making another season of Another Life. Another Life's horrible. It's a hate watch.
The Anna Kendrick thing is
And they saw,
what's
I
it
think
called?
it's Stowaway.
Stowaway. It is kind of
Yeah, of course it
introspective,
is.
whatever. I mean, not really. It's like a philosophical dilemma.
That's the same thing.
Occurs, you know.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The movie's always like that, you know. Well, we got to think about, the human condition and what we're gonna do to solve this problem. Put that motherfucker in the airlock. That's how you solve this problem. Sorry, blood, you're not supposed to be here.
I mean, it's an interesting premise, but I'm like, this is so ridiculous. They just found some guy in the fucking thing, like no one did a check, and no one's like, where's Tommy? Like, after like doing whatever.
I fell asleep in the
ground,
back. Where are we?
They count kids when you go to the fucking dinosaur museum. You think they ain't gonna count to make sure some fucking crewman isn't stuffed somewhere or fucked up or fucking Davidson didn't come off yet? Of course they're gonna check. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, so that's kind of ridiculous, but whatever. I mean, it was not my favorite.
The production
movie.
value looks good.
I thought everyone in it did a good job, and
the
it looks
actors
good and
are good.
everything. So.
I like Anna Kendrick. I like that Chinese guy.
Yeah.
I like the blonde chick, and I'm sure that I've never seen that black guy in anything, but I'm sure he's fine. And the production quality, it's a beautiful looking. The trailers and shit, what I saw, it looks great. It looks like they spent some money, which is nice because a lot of time you watch sci-fi and you're like, oh, this costs $15, you know. Like you look at a bot, you're like, that's clearly a toothpaste tube covered in white paint, you know. So it's nice to see some money spent on sci-fi.
Right.
Did you watch the French thing? The French sci-fi thing? It used to be a comic book.
French thing?
And people said, oh, it's really bad. It has a really hot chick, not Evangeline Lilly. She's a supermodel. I can't think of her name, but it's a French comic book, a French sci-fi comic book about space. Like they're either space cops or space bounty hunters. No, not the city.
That's after a French thing.
I don't think it was called The City. It came out like...
What's the City of 1,000 Planets? Or what is it called? Evan?
Fuck.
You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
right? It's like blah blah, City of 1,000 Planets. Or something like that. Or whatever. I don't know. Something like that.
I don't remember. I remember... Was it Cara Delevingne is in it?
Valerian,
yeah.
Valerian and the City of 1,000
I heard
Planets.
it was trash. I didn't watch it, though.
I'll be honest. So it's kind of like your John Carter.
I might like it.
It's trash, but I liked it.
It's like for a certain demographic, it's great.
The only problem, I mean, it's kind of silly, but I mean, it's overall okay. But there are some bad actors in it. Like you're like, what the fuck? Like they like signed me up and put me in that movie and like hello, General, how are you? You know, like I mean, like it's like that.
Okay,
you're like, come on,
is
bro,
it
really?
closer to John Carter or Jupiter Ascending?
I don't think John Carter. I think the problem with John Carter is it came out in a time when everybody knows you can't go walking around on Mars. And there's no fucking aliens on Mars. If that movie had come out in 1986, it'd be a hit. But it came out at a time when everybody's too smart for that stuff. Like, it's just sad. The story is too old. We all know now, you know. Or if they had changed the planet from Mars to like Titan, or the fantasy space plane, you know, another plane of existence or something, then that would be something different. But I was thinking about John Carter the other day, and I was like. It's probably not that bad a movie, but I think the time frame is wrong. People are now too smart. They understand a guy walking around in a leather fucking strap on Mars. You know, it's a story written for a time when people didn't know what the fuck was on Mars.
Point of personal privilege, James. I believe it's called Jar Sum.
Okay. Whatever.
What is called Jar
Mars?
Sum? Is it actually Mars?
Yeah, and Earth is called Barsum.
Ah, I see.
Come on, Mike.
I never saw it, so I just saw bits and pieces.
I saw it. I was like, that guy has leather on. I'm not.
So I did watch, like I said, I did watch Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets, and I would say it's worth a watch, especially we're all sci-fi guys. You know,
I liked it. I didn't think it was bad.
I liked it too.
I thought it was good.
I actually liked it too. You know, is considered a box office bomb.
Yep.
I don't think it was marketed appropriately. I don't think it was marketed well, and I think that it was. I think a lot of movies that have fucking fall flat, they don't get pushed well enough.
The main guy though, he is kind of a douche.
Life?
No, just in the movie. Dane, the actor's name is Dane DeHaan.
Yeah.
Something, I don't know who that is.
I liked him in the only other movie I've ever seen with him, which is I can't remember. Starts with a C, where three friends discover his spaceship and they get superpowers, and he kills them.
Oh yeah,
He goes crazy.
Yeah. I forgot what it's called. I know you're talking about. Yeah, he's wearing the hoodie and.
Yeah.
I want to say like compound or comprehension, but it's not
It's
not
something
those
like
things.
that. Yeah.
It's kind of like your clock stoppers, but it's not that.
No.
But it's similar, kind of. Yeah, but everyone else in this, Cara Delevingne, she's good. Yep, she's cool. Clive Owen's in it. Rihanna's in it. Ethan Hawke is in it for 5 seconds.
Wow.
Apparently Herbie Hancock's in it. I don't even know who Herbie Hancock is, except I know the name. And according to this, even Rutger Hauer's in it.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that. Maybe he's one of the blue guys or something. I don't
But
know.
it's good. I thought it was good. I think there's definitely some like story dead ends in there. Like there's this whole like love thing. There's this kind of go back situation with the two main characters, and I don't think they go in. Basically, they kind of do a little bit of like partner team building to let the audience know that these two characters know each other. But then they come to a point where they're like, okay, we've done enough of that. Action, story, and they don't build on that relationship anymore ever again, and they kind of just throw something together at the end to close that loop off. So, I mean, I think that's just Hollywood, though. Hollywood seems to like, some pieces fell. You know what I mean? Some little story knots fell off at the end, but overall, I mean, the production quality was good. You could tell they spent some money on it. You could tell somebody cared about it, and it was a comic book or something, or a graphic novel.
Yeah, I downloaded the
so
comic book.
it was a passion
actually.
project. Like people actually gave a shit about the content. You know.
Isn't this by the guy? Directed by Luke
Oh, I don't
Besson.
know. I don't know who he is. Oh, okay.
Fifth
Yeah.
Element.
Which it has a Fifth Element
You know,
vibe.
what's the movie? Lucy?
Mm-hmm.
Lucy,
yeah.
the Professional. You know. The other one with your buddy, Evan, Wasabi.
Wasabi?
Mm-hmm. What's the name of the guy from The Professional?
I don't know.
The guy with his little cap and the little.
You know what I'm talking about.
Glasses.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, Jean Reno.
Jean Reno. Yes. So he's in the movie called Wasabi.
Okay.
Where he plays a French police detective. And then he takes off. The beginning of the movie, he's involved in some crazy shootout or whatever. And they're like, you need to take time off, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, blah, blah. He's like, all right, I'm going to Japan.
Oh, okay.
And then the whole movie takes place in Japan.
You saw that? How was it?
Yeah. I did see it, although it's been many years. But from what I recall,
Not enough
it was
movies
pretty
take
good.
place in Japan, by the way. They're so
Maybe,
rare
maybe not.
that when you see them, they stand out like crazy. Brittany Murphy's last movie, that Bill Murray movie, that Jean Reno movie you just mentioned.
I still need to see that that Bill Murray one,
haven't seen it
Lost in Translation.
It looks like introspective bullshit. So I haven't seen it.
It does, but it
That's
takes
the
place in
only reason
Japan,
I'm
so. And what's her name's hot. So
Scarlett Johansson.
Evan?
Oh, she's in that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She's
Have
the
you
other
seen
main
the
character.
Brittany Murphy movie on this show like 4 years ago. I think so. Did you guys see
Ramen
that?
Girl.
Nope.
I saw it. It was
I
good.
saw it.
It's fine. It served
was
its
good.
purpose. It made me feel sad that she died.
Yeah. No, she did a good
It's a
job.
good movie, and it didn't get the credit
It's a good
it
movie.
deserved. Yeah.
I never even heard of it till someone's like, "Oh yeah, you should watch this on Netflix," and I was like, "Oh, all right, I go check this out." Like, "Oh,
Yeah.
how did I never hear about this?" Like,
Yeah, it's a good
heh.
movie.
So all right, and then last one here, I'll just put a reminder here: a tickler, Valerian. Yes, yeah. Poor Luc Besson.
Besson.
I think it was an advertising.
Sure.
Man, because I think it was a good story. I really think it was advertising. He has not made trash. He's not directed trash. You know.
No, like I said, there was just a few actors in it that I was like, ugh. But they were
Sci-fi,
just,
dude. Sci-fi is a
one-liner
hard
people.
sell, man.
And the uniforms in it are kind of crazy.
Well,
Evan, the only other one I want to mention is the one that you saw, but I haven't seen it yet. Where it's a giant wheel rolling around on the planet. And like, this is our city now.
With the guy from Good Will Hunting?
Matt
Damon, yeah. Is that it?
I don't know. I don't know who's in it.
Why do I want to say it's like Olympia? That's not what it's called. Oblivion? No, that's Tom Cruise.
No.
I'm assuming that's the movie that you're talking about.
Probably.
I'm
trying to Google it, and I don't know if it's Matt Damon because I found Elysium.
That's the one.
Yeah, and
that's
not
not it.
about.
Okay,
not that.
A giant wheel on the planet.
That's a District 9 clone,
it's a
sort
good
of.
movie, though. Elysium is good.
It is a good movie. No, I'm talking about like the year is 3927, and humanity has almost wiped itself out, and now there's a giant wheeled city that roams around Europe.
God. No! You don't want to see that.
What is
Fuck.
it? What is it?
Dude, I don't remember.
It's so bad.
It's another book, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah, it's a book. Yeah, I know it's a book.
I don't even remember who's in
maybe
it.
I'll read the book.
Fuck. I have the movie.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
You know what I came across the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, this City of Ember.
Oh yeah, I like that movie a lot. So what you're talking about is Mortal Engines.
Yes, Mortal Engines.
That's it.
Garbage.
That's
Straight up garbage.
Who's in it?
I think there's a couple
Not
people.
Matt Damon.
No. Hugo Weaving. He's one you would probably know.
Oh yeah, of course.
No one else.
Agent Smith. Smith.
No one else you would know. There might be a couple of recognizable faces that we don't actually know their name. But don't. There's no reason to watch it.
According to this Wikipedia article, it says it was one of the biggest box office bombs in history, grossing $83 million, still a lot, against a production budget of $100 to $150 million, losing the studio an estimated $175 million. You know, they gotta advertise and shit. And,
Yeah.
Woo.
I mean, watch it, but don't.
So, yeah, I don't know who this person is. Jihei? Is that how you say her name?
Sure.
Jihei, rock musician. The South Korean singer and actress living in the United States. She has appeared in the miniseries Mars, 2016, and the film Mortal Engines, 2018, and in the Netflix series Altered Carbon. That's what you call it. Yeah. I mean, you look at that, you're like, oh, this is like Blade Runner, but not like, you know. I think Blade Runner is the gold standard, although maybe according to James, it's Ghost in the Shell. So.
I mean, Altered Carbon is okay. Blade Runner is one of the gold standards of Cyberpunk too. Sure, 100% agree.
All right. So
Okay.
Mortal Engines, do and do not watch it.
Is it crap?
It's garbage.
Yeah.
You watched the whole thing. No. James, you watched the whole thing?
I saw like fucking 10 minutes of it.
You didn't watch any of it?
No.
Oh, yeah. You were like, nah, I'm done.
If you want to watch something that's similar to Mortal Engines, or not similar, but it's the same kind of like weird fantasy hybrid vibe, that's a great example. Something good on HBO. There's it's a show with a polar bear who talks and has like guns mounted on his back or whatever. I can't think of the name of it now, but it's about like it's about this girl
wild.
who's like lives in a world where there's magic exists, and so she's running from the magisterium or whatever, the Magisterium's trying to track her down because she has some special power, and she's trying to go from point A to point B through the world. So it's like Game of Thrones with magic in a hybrid steampunk fantasy setting. You know, so there's blimps and shit like that. Like, that's a cool version of that show. A cool setting if you want to watch something in that steampunky, alternate reality, futuristic sort of, but not future, weird machinery type world. That's a good example of that. It's really good. But that Mortal Engines is fucking weird. That's another thing. It was a book that just they fucked it up. You know?
So, Mike, if you want to know what Mortal Engines might be like, you're in a dystopian future where countries live on movable cities, and the very tribal mindset. Resources are at a premium. Think about Waterworld and those like battles for resources.
And the success of that movie.
And it is less creative and more predictable than Waterworld. But on land, with no Dennis Hopper.
But on land, not with Dennis Hopper.
That's really all you need to know.
Okay.
So I look forward to your review next week. Should we talk about a game for Mike?
Yeah, so I'll be really quick because we've been going for a while now. It's going to be a fucking 7-hour show.
We're almost at the
not bad.
3-hour mark.
So you don't need to click on this. This is a YouTube video. But I thought Mike would get a kick out of this. It's a police simulator. And, like, basically, you spend the first, like, 3 or 4 days walking around.
Perfect.
Like, giving people tickets. You're like, oh, you're too close to the curb. Ticket. It's like, oh, you're in a handicap spot. Ticket. Like, oh, you can go up to people, take their license, be like, that's not you. They're like, search his car. He's got a gun in his car. Arrest him. I just saw.
So can you plant drugs on the suspect?
No, you won't let you do anything illegal. It's like you're not allowed to police brutality or whatever. But it's, if you want to see just something funny, watch this video. It's by a guy named Big Fry. He reviews a lot of indie games, mostly shitty ones. This is kind of his bread and butter. But this particular one is like, I guess, not a bad one. So it's a funny video. But I was like, Mike would love to play this. I feel like Michael has missed out on the whole. Like, he's a little too old. He's already aged out of the whole simulator shit, but I feel like all the simulators are probably made for Mike, like Scandinavian truck driver simulator and farmer simulator and police simulator. I saw one that was before as a prison simulator, and I saw one that was like a CO prison. So you're like a correctional officer simulator. You know, they're like you're planting drugs, you're taking drugs out of people's packages and keeping it for yourself. You're letting people's drugs go through when they come in. You're getting paid by the prisoners, and by the prison. So there's all kinds of cool shit out there that I feel like Mike would just love. So yeah.
Nice.
You've always wanted to be able to power trip and harass citizens from the comfort of your own home.
Exactly. Well, Michael likes the Cat Burger Simulator. Michael, you never got
True.
that one. You should have got that one, the Burglar Simulator, where you can take you steal cars and TVs and shit. And dude, it goes down to the meticulous detail of like taking apart the engine to get out like this like fucking radiator belt to sell. You know, it's like, or like taking the jewelry and taking the setting apart and recutting the jewels that you've stolen so you can pawn them. Like, it goes into great detail. So yeah. Yeah, it's still a game.
Is that still a game?
Yeah, it's still a game.
All right. Well, you'll have to send me the link to that. I just found one here. Cat Burglar: A Tale of Pursuit. But it's like literally a cat. Yeah, and it's free to play. So. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's what I want, but I'll check that out.
Thief Simulator, that's what it's called.
Yes. Okay. I'll look for that.
Cool. Well, I hope you enjoy.
I never bought that?
How? Yeah, how?
Oh, I did buy it.
So there's no way that slipped through your fingers.
You bought Thief Simulator? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever played it, but I have.
Why would you?
They have Thief Simulator VR. Ooh.
You really get hands-on.
Separate purchase. Yep, separate purchase, but yeah.
Now, if there's a reason for you to upgrade your VR setup with the haptic feedback gloves and everything, Mike, it's to burgle.
It's true. I need to get like like Johnny Mnemonic in the movie Johnny Mnemonic. He's like, I need a Stealth Series 7 module. I need a blah 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 headset. I need a blah blah blah. He's like, go go go, put on fucking power glove, whatever. Yeah. He's like, Duke. Like, it's like, this is the internet.
Yep.
Like, what?
Good times.
Mm-hmm. I guess we already talked about the food scams.
Yep, we did talk about food scams. Nothing in product review as far as I'm concerned. Any you guys get any cool toys this week? You care to mention?
No, I got my hard drives in.
Time will tell how those perform.
James, I wanted to mention to you that I found, although both of you I think would get a kick out of this, I found on Steam. So funny you mentioned simulator. I found the Streamer Life Simulator.
I know what you're talking about.
That's hilarious. And then I just found another thing called Bone Town: The Second Coming.
Is that a porn?
And it is
an adult video game.
An adult video game.
Oh, dude, there's so much like fucking shit like that on Steam nowadays. The one that I've had it for a long time, and I played it in alpha, and it was like junk, and now they finished it, called House Party, and it's about a guy. You go to a house, and your mission is to fuck one or all of the hot chicks in the house, but you have to do all these things for them. Like, this guy has alcohol, and he's got it locked up. You gotta get the alcohol from this guy, and then there's a guy in there that if you fuck up, he's gonna try to suck your dick. It's just crazy, dude. There's all this shit, dude.
Wow.
Look, me and my friends go back and forth. It's a game we play with each other. We buy dirty ass games for each other. So I bought for Wilkes. I bought VR Paradise, which is this weird VR strip club. And for me, he bought. What did he buy me? Hold on, I'll tell you right now. You're gonna be like, what the fuck? Although Steam doesn't really let you see your whole library anymore.
While you're looking for that, James, I want you to keep an eye out for any game that resembles something like Simp Simulator. If there's a time for that game to exist, it's now.
Oh, I'm sure it does, but yeah.
Oh, that definitely exists, Evan. That's like almost like the game whatever game he was just talking about. That's basically it.
It's like
there's a bunch of games like that. I don't know if there's actually one called Simp. Here, let's type
Simpulator.
Oh shit, there is. Dude, Simp Simulator.
Fantastic.
It's 99 cents.
Fantastic.
Well,
what are the reviews like?
I think it's just a joke
I have
game.
a game here called Russian Life Simulator. I don't know where I got that from.
Oh, we talked about that before, I think. That one looked crazy.
Oh yeah, Breeders of Nephilim.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, and Kohatsu Party. So someone bought me Kohatsu Party. I've never installed it or played it, but from what I understand, this is a game in Kohatsu Party. You make anime girls and you can fuck them. And it's by Illusion, the same company who makes V Shoujo Simulator or whatever. The game where you train. You're helping a girl who's not in high school.
VR Kanajo?
Yeah, VR Kanajo. That's it. Yeah, it's the same company who makes that game.
So someone here posted a review. They don't recommend this Simp Simulator. They say, delete this game quick. Do not buy this game. A ton of people have fell for this. This program is a CPU Bitcoin mining software.
Nice.
That's what they say it is. At least that's what this one person claims it is. The rest of these reviews are...
That's exactly what a simp would say.
Fake or whatever.
Okay.
It's like here's one. It says, some people may take the word beauty as a description for art, the welcoming of a new life, or their partner. But the most beauty I have ever seen is this game. It runs like butter, and every second you see that wonderful simped go up in basically your score, go up in hundreds. If there was a word for a god game like this, I would be calling it that. Would highly recommend it.
Oh, there's another game in here. Some game called Cockhead, where you play as sperm. Whatever.
You have good friends.
Yeah, well, you know, we're all living our best lives.
It's true. I'm just jealous. So, you both have some very interesting things in the extra section, which we've just talked about. Bone Town, Simp Simulator, Thief Simulator, and James, would you care to elaborate on the OF link?
Yeah, so we talked earlier about Camille Wash or whatever, and Michael said, does she have an OnlyFans? I was like, of course not. She does. Yeah.
No, Evan said that.
Yeah.
She does have an
I didn't
OnlyFans,
say that.
and that is the link to her OnlyFans.
I wonder how lewd it is.
It is...
Probably not very.
It's a not very lewd, but you know, it's funny. Her pictures, and I just signed up for it because I'm a savage. Her pictures are not very lewd, but she does have some full nudity here, and she apparently offers a service where she will send you very lewd stuff, which is honestly crazy. To me, this is like kind of wild that she does this. I'll read you here. It says services are on pause. She just put this May 14th. She posted this. Services are on pause. Ratings, $25 for written, $35 voice note. Photos will not be opened or acknowledged without a tip. So if you tip her, she'll look at your dick pic. I don't know why people love doing this, but people love doing this dick pic shit. Panties. Price varies by request. So I guess she mails people panties. Zoom session. $200 for 10 minutes. That's cheap.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. I don't know how I get out of that, but that's cheap.
She's offering some good services here.
$10 every additional 5 minutes added. That's dirt cheap. Let's see here. No explicit talk or visuals. Any vulgar actions will result in immediate video termination. No refund will be given, yada yada. Okay. Personalized erotic story. So it's so funny here that she says, we're going to have this Zoom and it's going to be very, like, wholesome. But then she says, personalized erotic stories, $25 tip. Tell me where and who. I'll tell you how. It's
creative.
It's very odd. I mean, I'm not mad at her. Look, I've said this many times. If I was a woman, I would do everything I could to secure that bag. You know? As much as it sounds very, like, misogynistic or whatever, women have a power over men, and it's a power that should be exploited to make money. You know, as long as dudes are willing to simp, then secure that bag, girl. I just paid her $10, so
it's just good business.
Out of nosiness, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at her banner picture, I mean, you can clearly see some very lovely dark nipples, and that may have been enough.
Nips, yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, man.
Okay, good times. Anything else you guys would like to add or discuss before we head out?
No, sir.
No? All right. Well, if you all have made it this far, our dear listeners, we do thank you. Please check out our website, iopanelpodcast.com. There you'll find all of our new episodes, our social life links, ways to get in contact with us. Send us an email, feedback@iopanelpodcast.com. It comes to all three of us. There are also ways to support us through Patreon, Amazon affiliate. All of that you can find on our website. We do appreciate your time. We'll talk to you next week.
So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. throne. Coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your